added and I added him on the song and released it on the single. The song did very well. Extra, Can't Nobody Stop Us. Little G asked me to do another song with him. This time it was going to be for his album. I accepted. This time he wanted me to rap my verse instead of sing it. I am not a great rapper, but I gave it a try. My rap verse came out better than I expected. The song was released on his album. I liked it so much I released it on the deluxe edition of the Duets album in 2015. Unfortunately, a couple years later, Lil G and I fell out because of money issues, so we never worked together again. Chapter 10, Honesty. 1. Honesty. 2. Choosing the wrong man. 3. Fake. 4. Realness. 5. Rock My World Freestyle. 6. Why Don't We Take Our Time? 7. Devil Ain't Loyal Freestyle. 8. Amen. 9. When You See Me Blessed Solo. 10. Where's the Love Remake. Album information. During the time of the Duets album, I decided I wanted to work on some solo music as well. I wanted to make an album of just me, no duets. I called on the production team of the Tightwads, which were the composers Lou Green and Lorenzo Nelson, aka Cali Rex. I met Lou first, though. I met Lou through a SoundCloud. He sent me a message telling me that he had a beat for sale. I said, cool. We started talking, and I listened to his beats, and I decided that I wanted to work with him on a solo project. When I got to his studio, he introduced me to his production partner, Cali Rex. We hit it off immediately. We began to work on this album immediately. I also produced some songs on my own as well. This album was also released on Bandcamp on Black Friday as well. Honesty, number 1. This song was produced by the Tightwads. This was the second single from the album. This song was my sort of coming out song. I wanted to make a song announcing my sexuality to the world, but I was uncomfortable telling my sexuality to the producers. So I just recorded a song about being honest with yourself and others. The song became my 15th number 1 independent single. The video was filmed inside of the Hollywood Vine Red Line station and was directed by me. I filmed it on my way to the set of the Elsewhere video that was also directed by Cali Rex. 2. Choosing the Wrong Man. This song was the first single from the album. It describes my autobiographical journey into finding the right man. This song was produced by the Tightwads. The song became another top 10 hit on the independent charts for more than 20 weeks. 3. Fake. I love this song by Alexander O'Neal, and I wanted to remake the song based on the lover that I had at that time, who was a cheater and was only using me to get money. This was produced by the Tightwads. I played it for my former lover. He got mad and broke it off with me. 4. Realness. I originally wanted Wicked Rob to do this song with me, but because of his tight schedule, he could not do it. The song is based on finding out that the one that you like is everything that you wanted because they are genuine. I wrote and produced this song myself. I wish that I could have released this as a single. Who knows where it could have gone. Rock My World Freestyle. I wrote the song based on my crush on Wicked Rob. The lyrics were purely my fantasy about him, how I wanted him and would do anything to get him. To this day, he had no idea that the song is about him. I knew that he had a woman and kids, but I lusted after him just the same. Talk about selfish. This video was filmed at my job at the time, the Burbank Metrolink station. I filmed it in sepia color, and I got naked in it too. This was the third and final single from the album. Why Don't We Take Our Time? I wanted to prove myself and to others that I could be straight, so I started going out with this young lady at the church I went to named Grant AME in Long Beach. The woman's name was Antoinette. I must say that it was a huge mistake on both of our parts. She had 2 boys at the time, and she wasn't looking for just a boyfriend. She was also looking for a husband and a father to her boys. She had me go to her house and cook for them. Plus, she wanted me to read and play with them as well. She would always hint to me that she wanted me to get married to her, and that made me uncomfortable. So after one of our meetings, I went home and wrote the lyrics to this song. I was looking on YouTube and found the perfect beat for this song. I ended up producing the song at my house in 30 minutes. I never played it for her, and to this day, she doesn't know that the song was about her. I ended up breaking off a relationship after only 2 months because she was smothering me, and I knew that I wasn't straight. Thank God we never slept together, or I think it would have ended up badly. 7. Devil Ain't Loyal. I love the Chris song Loyal so much that I decided to make a gospel version of the song. The idea just came to me on a sleepless night. I heard the song earlier that day and it stayed with me. I found myself dreaming about the song. The lyrics of the song just came to me in a dream. I got up and freestyled the lyrics in my home studio. I premiered it on SoundCloud and it made 8,000 plays to this day. Amen. My former manager, Ken Willis, wanted me to work on a song with this gentleman named Ivan Rutledge. I agreed to do it. The first show that we were supposed to do together was a show benefiting cancer research. Plus, we were going to put out a companion album for the event as well. I wanted to perform one of my songs and put one of the songs on the compilation as well. But Mr. Rutledge insisted that I put a brand new song on the album or I would not be able to do the show. I relented and told him that I would do it. He asked if I had studio access. I said yes. I told him that I was working with the Tidewads on the album. He insisted on coming to the studio with me and checking it out. The next week he came to the studio with his keyboard. He liked the studio and told me that he wanted to help me write the song. We played with a couple of ideas and song titles until we decided that Amen would be a good song title. We played around with various concepts until we settled on the concept of this song, which is agreeing with the circumstances that life gives you. He brought his keyboard in and recorded him playing it and singing background vocals. I recorded my verse that he and I wrote together, and the song was done. He ended up having to cancel the show because of poor ticket sales and lack of interest from other artists. But I decided to keep the song and release it on this album. 9. When You See Me Blessed solo. This was a solo version that was released, but when it came time to shoot the video, the other artists had previous commitments, so I had to shoot the video by myself, and it became another number one for me. 10. Where Is the Love? I love the original song by Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway. I got the instrumental from YouTube and I wanted my friend Karen Floyd to remake it with me. But unfortunately, she said no. I asked another friend, she also declined. So I decided to remake the song by myself. It is only on the Bandcamp version because of the remake issues. Chapter 11. Greatest Hits. 06 to 16. 10. Greatest. 20. All That. 28. Spirit is Moving. Album information. This album is a compilation album of my biggest hits from my first album, Look What God Has Done, all the way to my Honesty album. This collection features 25 old songs and 3 new songs, including the 2 number 1 independent hits, Greatest and All That, plus the new song, Spirit is Moving. I originally planned this to be my last album, where I used my Oluseyi Banjo name. I was going to be Pastor O from now on, but I decided not to do that. This became my best-selling compilation album to this day. 10. Greatest. This song actually came out by accident. I was thinking about the project and the songs that I wanted on it when my friend Gary gave me this beat. I kept the beat for 3 months before I decided to record anything to it. When I was listening to beats on my laptop, I came across this beat and I started vibing to it. Next thing I knew, I was singing the hook to it. Then I decided to add song titles to the verses, and it worked. I recorded the demo to this song, and I kept playing the demo until I was ready to record the final product. I just wanted to make a song that was glorifying God for all that I had come through. I played the song for the desk clerk in my apartment building. He loved it, so I decided to release it as a first single. When it came time to shoot the video, I asked my good friend Young Shame to direct it, and he did a great job on it. The song became my 16th number 1 independent single and on the independent charts, and my most requested besides Uplifted remix. 20, All That. On this new song, I started working with a new beat maker named Infasol. When I was looking for fresh new beats for my music, Fasol was from England, and he specialized in neo soul and R&B beats. I'd heard his beat on the website, and I had to have it. I began to sing the lyrics from the first time that I had heard it. Most of the time when I wrote a song to a beat, I knew exactly what I wanted to say. I planned it out. But this time, the words just came out of me naturally. I started singing the verse, then the hook came to me. Until the next thing I knew, the song was done. I took the song to Choco, and he produced the hell out of it. We filmed this video at Venice Beach. The videographer was a new friend of mine that I'd met at Venice Beach named Twaisha. I met her on the beach on the day of the filming when my original videographer canceled on me at the last minute. She agreed to hold the camera for me as I did the video. Later, after the filming, I found out that she was a singer too. We exchanged Facebook information, and we are still friends to this very day. This song became my 17th number one record, and the remix features my brother Hubface. 2. Spirit is Moving. I wanted to make a dance praise song, so I chose to this beat by my favorite EDM crew, the Dance Runners. I chose a simple concept of being in church and letting the Spirit take control of the church service, and I put it on a dance twist to it. This was the third and final single from the compilation album. Chapter 12, Uplifted. Uplift number 1, Uplifted. 2, Assurance. 3, Anything featuring Grandmaster Dub. 4, Dance. 5, Inspired. 6, Winner. 7, Mansion. 8, Times. 9, Perfect featuring Detroit Boys. 10, Yazoo. 11, Unite. 12, Invitation. 13, Time Auto-Tune Remix. 14, Dance Nigerian Afrobeat Remix. Album information. I love reggae music, and I also love African juju music. This was my father's favorite type of music as well. So with the second full-length album produced with Choco, I decided to kind of pay tribute to my father's favorite music. This was my 10th studio album, so it had to be special. I chose to have one-word titles because I think one word says it all. I chose the title Uplifted because I wanted this album to be an album of joy and encouragement. The cover was designed by my brother, Young Shame. This was also the first album where I used the name Pastor O, in honor of me being ordained 3 years prior. Plus, I thought it was a more simpler name to pronounce than my given name. This album did very well. It debuted at number 1 on the independent reggae and R&B charts, and also features two more number 1 independent singles and 2 top 10 independent singles. This won the Academy Award for Best Reggae Album in 2016. 1. Uplifted. I wanted to make a song that reflected my outlook on life. I am a very positive person who loves to encourage and spread joy to people, even though sometimes I don't get that joy back. I don't trip on it. I'll just keep spreading the love anyway, because good things will come back if you continue to put it out there. I'm a firm believer that when you show what you sow is what you reap. This is what this song is about, staying positive in a negative world. This song was released as the album's third single, but as a twist, I did a house remix to it, which featured my friend Carl, aka Mr. C, whom I met on my way to work at the Burbank Metrolink station. We both were friends on the bus with the bus driver, and he introduced me to him, and we became friends. We started talking, and we found out that we shared music in common. He was a rapper and a producer, and I was a singer. He told me that he had a studio and would give me studio time for a cheap price. I said, okay. The next week, I found the house remix on YouTube and took it over to Carl's house, and we completed it. He added his rap verse, which contained the 10 commandments, and it was on. The song stayed at number 1 on the independent singles chart for 11 weeks. Assurance. I love to dance. Everyone who knows me knows this for a fact. But when Choco played this reggae dance track for me, I was here for it. As I heard the beat, I automatically started singing the chorus. The verse came when I took the beat home and recorded the demo. I pictured a video of me dancing and church folks dancing around me. Unfortunately, due to the complications of my kidney stone surgery, I couldn't make a big budget music video like I wanted. But I made a small video of me and with my kidney bag dancing to the song at Gladys Park in downtown. The single was released as a 6th single for the project, and it became a top 10 hit. Anything, featuring Grandmaster Dub. I decided to pay tribute to my Yoruba and American roots with this song. I sang one verse in Yoruba and the other in English. I wanted to make it kind of a sequel to Ose O Baba, the Nigerian praise song. The reggae beat was made by a good friend of mine named Grandmaster Dub, whom I met off YouTube. This song was released as a 7th single from the album. Though this was not as successful as Ose Baba, folks still give me compliments on this song. 4. Dance. We used a reggaeton track on this song. I originally wanted to feature Choco's group El Talk on this song, but their schedule would not permit it. But it came out great without them anyway. I used my trademark dance refrain at the end of this song. This song was released as a 5th single from the album, and it made the top 25 on the independent singles chart. 5. Inspired. I wrote this song because I wanted to motivate people to be the best in everything, no matter what is happening around you. Do your best to be the best you can be. I got this beat from Choco, and I remember that I loved it from the first time that I heard it. It was so awesome to me. I had a friend named Kenya who would always be negative, and I told her, in order for you to win, you have to be inspired to go higher. I wrote this song to her to inspire her to be positive, to be the best that she could be. She loved it when she heard it, and she tells me that she plays the song every day. This song was released as the Cole 4th single, and it reached the top 10 on the independent charts. 6. Winner. This song came from a conversation that I had with my friend Ronan Gray. He and I were having a conversation about where we were in life and our musical careers. I told him that I feel sometimes like because I was not the best-selling artist that I wasn't good. He told me that I am a winner because I keep trying. No matter if I sell 1 or 1 million copies, I am still good. The good never gets recognized. I said, that's true. Immediately after this conversation, Choco sent me a beat, and I began to write the words based on the conversation. This song was released as the album's 4th single. It became a top 10 independent single. 7. Mansions. I wrote these lyrics 8 years prior as a dedication to my father. I always knew that I was going to make a reggae album, but other music was presented to me, so I went to the direction of what was given to me. As I was making this album, I thought about these lyrics and decided to put it in my email and see if I still had these lyrics. Sure enough, there was in my email. I got this beat from Clape Janah, a beat maker that I met on SoundCloud. He told me that he had a great reggae beat for me. I gave him my email, and he sent it to me. I loved it and paid $35 for the beat. I recorded a demo to the beat, and I practiced the song. I went to Choco's studio and recorded it in 15 minutes. 8. Time. I began to think about the passage of time and how much things have changed in my life, especially since the 15 years since my debut gospel album was released. As I was dwelling on these things, I began to write these lyrics. As a coincidence, after I was finished with these lyrics, I got a call from Choco told me that he had a reggae beat and I felt I should record it too. I listened to it and I was hesitant at first. I had to listen to the beat a couple more times for it to grow on me. But after a day or two, I decided to record these lyrics that I wrote for this song. Now that I look back, recording this beat was the best decision I have ever made in my career. Perfect, featuring the Detroit Boys. I have been an ordained minister since 2013, and a part of me being ordained was that I got to officiate wedding ceremonies and perform premarital counseling, which is something that I insist on before I perform a wedding, so that I know if the couple is compatible or not. I had officiated 3 weddings up to this point. I got a call from my play little brother, Hubface, and he told me that he wanted me to officiate his wedding to his fiancée, Sarah. I, of course, said yes, only if they agreed to premarital counseling. He agreed. They came in for their sessions, and I felt like they were a perfect couple, and they were compatible in every way. During the sessions, I got a beat from my friend, the Detroit Boys, who were the city of Detroit, Michigan. It was a happy reggae beat. After the counseling session, I thought of the words of this song, and it matched with the beat of the song. It was perfect. This is the only song that I recorded, wrote, and produced for this album by myself. I played it for them. They loved it. I performed this song at their wedding as well, and everyone loved it. This song was released as the album's second single and the first video. This song was an international success. It peaked at number 1 on the independent charts in the USA, UK, Japan, Jamaica, and even Africa. It has sold 200,000 copies so far, plus it stayed at number 1 for 14 weeks. 10. Jesu. I wanted to make a gospel song where I sang entirely in the Yoruba language of Nigeria. I was dwelling on the goodness of God in my life thus far. This beat was produced by Choco and made by my friend Julo. Though it was not released as a single, it remains a very popular song to this day. Unite, number 11. This song was the first single from the album. I wanted to make a song about what was going on in the world, especially in the Black community. I felt and still feel that we need to stop killing each other and become unified. This is the only way that we will survive in this world. I chose to rap on this song to show people that I could actually rap. I was not just a singer. I found this beat on YouTube, and the production was handled by Choco. This song was a top 40 hit, and even though no video was made to this song. 12. Invitation. The idea of this song came to me after I officiated the funeral of Devante's younger brother, Tanel. It was so heartbreaking to officiate this funeral because it was so young. I rode in the car with the family, and Devante insisted on sitting next to me and flirting. I did my best to ignore him, especially with his wife not too far from us. After I performed the eulogy, I was led by the Spirit to extend the invitation to the Christian discipleship. 5 people gave their life to Christ that day. I was so inspired that I decided to set the invitation to a reggae beat. I put it on the album. I found the beat on YouTube, and Choco produced it, and the rest is history. 13. Time Auto-Tune Remix. Choco decided to remix this song. I began to think about the passage of time, about how things have changed in my life, especially since 10 years since my debut gospel album and it was released. As I was dwelling on these things, I began to write these lyrics. As a coincidence, after I was finished writing the lyrics, I got a call telling me that I was a reggae beat that I really wanted. And the rest is history. 14. Dance, Nigerian Afrobeat Remix. I produced this reggae song on my own. We used a reggaeton track on this song. I originally wanted to feature Choco's group El Talk on this song, but the schedule would not permit it. But it came out great without them anyway. I used a trademark dance refrain at the end of the song. The song was released as the 6th single from the album, and it made the top 25 on the independent gospels charts. Chapter 13, Pastor O. Number 1, Pastor O featuring Mr. C. 2, You Are. 3, Praise and Worship. 4, Refuge. 5, Remembering You. 6, Have Faith. 7, Be All Right. 8, Love Will. 9, Heal Me. 10, So Wonderful. 11, Know Him. 12, Been Good featuring Kenny Ford Sr. 13, God Victory. 14, Questions featuring DJ Genius. 15, Greatest Dimension featuring Abel Damien. 16, Came Through. 17, God Can. 18, Forgive Me, Danny E.B. 2016 remix. 19, Pastor O remix. 20, Uplifted House remix featuring Mr. C. Album information. This is my 10th anniversary album. This album was released on the 10th anniversary of my debut album, Look What God Has Done. For this album, I chose a new producer named Ryman, whom I met through a rapper friend named Abel Damien. I went to Ryman's studio for the Abel Damien session, and we immediately hit it off, and I knew that I wanted to work with him musically. Also, a couple of songs were produced by my friend Hubface and my friend Carl Anthony, aka Mr. C. Also, my former choir director Kenny Ford Sr. produced and sang on one song as well. This album's theme was praising God and celebrating one's spirituality, even in difficult times. This album was released in Standard Edition with 12 songs and the Deluxe Edition with 20 songs. This album became another number one, and it featured 2 number one singles and 3 top 5 singles. 1, Pastor O featuring Mr. C. This song is about telling everyone that what I'm about. It's about affirming my spirituality and celebrating my calling in the ministry. We made 3 different versions of the song. One was featuring me and ad-libs on the chorus. The other song featured Hubface on the ad-libs, and the other featured Mr. C on the ad-libs. We decided to use the Mr. C ad-lib version as the official title track version. This was the 4th single from the album. It became a top 2 single on the independent charts. You Are. As I said on Stable and Able, I love country music. I wanted to make another country song because I love country music. This was the first song that I recorded for the album. Originally, I wanted this album to be a country album, but the more beats I got from this album, I decided to change my mind. When I got this beat, I immediately began to sing the lyrics. I wanted to give praise to God for getting me through another illness that I went through in 2014. This was also the first song that Ryman produced for me. We filmed this video in Griffith Park in Los Angeles. This was also the first video that I had filmed after my recovering from the complications from my kidney stone surgery that happened in July of that year. I was in and out of the hospital for 2 months. I was healed on September 12th, 2016. I was so happy that I recovered from that, and I made this song the first single as well as the first video. We made several remixes to it. The most I have ever made to a song, which was 7. This song was a great success, and it peaked at number 1 on the independent singles and independent country singles chart for 8 weeks. Praise and Worship. I worked with Dan Faso again on this song. I contacted him and told him that I was making another record and I wanted a beat. I wanted a beat that was in the Michael Jackson Rockabilly style. He said, okay. 1 week later, he sent me this song, and I loved it. The song practically wrote itself. I let the rhythm guide me to the words. Before I started writing the song, I had gotten a new position as a musical minister at the Bread of Life Worship Center. I was so happy that I wanted to give God praise in this song, and this song was perfect opportunity for me to do so. Matter of fact, the video was filmed at the Bread of Life Worship Center. This song was released as the single's 3rd single, and it became another number 1 on the gospel and R&B singles chart for 4 weeks. This was also my most played song on Pastor O. It was over 3,000 plays on Spotify. 4, My Refuge. This song was written as I was going through a decision about leaving Grant AME Church. After there was a fight in the choir stand between the 2 choir members, there was a lot of stuff going on that contributed to me leaving Grant. I decided to put my confusion into a song. I realized that God was the answer for all of my confusion. I received the beat from a beat maker on YouTube, and I took it to Ryman, and he produced the hell out of the song. Because of this song, I ended up leaving Grant and stopped going to church for a while. Hubface produced the song. This song was the 2nd single from the album. It reached number 4 on the independent singles chart. 5, Remembering You, featuring Shalimar. During the making of this album, one of my best friends, David Mouton, passed away suddenly. I was extremely sad, but happy that he was with our Heavenly Father. I found this beat on YouTube and decided to put in all the memories and the sadness of the moment into the song. I rapped on it instead of singing the verses, just to do something different. The beat had the voices of Howard Hewitt and Shalimar on it. I put my heart and soul into this song, and I sent it to his sister, who loved it. I produced and recorded this song myself. I decided to release this song on my album as a tribute to my friend and brother David Mouton. 6. Have Faith. I was in between jobs when I wrote this song. I was losing my faith and my happiness. Friends tried to keep me encouraged, but it wasn't until I read the Bible and prayed repeatedly that my faith was restored. I received a job offer and accepted 2 days later. I decided to make this song about this ordeal. Ryman gave me a beat, and the rest is history. 7. Be Alright. During the making of this album, I became a single man again. I began to get the blues because I felt that my love life was doomed. I decided to write the song about when I was going through trying to find the right one. And Falsoul gave me a beat, and I just poured out my soul on it. And I put a solution to it as well. The song was released as the 7th and final single from the album in 2018. Love Will. This song is my reassurance to all the single people. I wanted to make it like a Keisha Cole kind of song, letting everyone know that no matter what they are going through, that love will appear. I told Ryman about my idea. He loved it and supplied me with the beat that fit the concept of the song perfectly. This song was released as the album's 6th single, one day before the 7th single, as a celebration of my musical anniversary. 9. Heal Me. This was the second song that I recorded for this album. I recorded this back when I was still thinking about making a country album. This song was based on a story that I heard of someone who prayed a prayer for healing of their depression. Immediately they were healed and has never had a bout of depression again. I found this beat on YouTube, the same place that I found the story. I put the lyrics to the beat and I took it to Ryman, who made me record it 3 times in 1 hour, and it turned out well. 10. So Wonderful. This song was an Afrobeat song about how great God is. I wanted to use an Afrobeat style to pay tribute to one of my most favorite genres of music. I wrote and freestyle recorded. This song with all of its parts took me a half hour to record. Then I went to the studio and recorded it in 1 take. 11. Know Him. This was the only song on the album that I co-wrote with Ryman. We were in the studio discussing life and religion. I told him so many people act like what they do because they didn't realize they knew God. He agreed with me, but also said that the problem is that religion is too controlling of people. I reaffirmed it's because people don't know God. All of a sudden, he started playing this beat out of the blue, and I began to freestyle some of the words, and he added some words to it as well. We wrote our ideas down, then I recorded the words in 1 hour. The song was done then. 12. Been Good, featuring Kenny Ford Sr. My former choir director at Grant AME, Kenny Ford Sr., approached me about writing a song for his upcoming album. The song was about how good God is. He knew that I was a great songwriter. I agreed to write the verses while he sang the chorus and the breakdown. I had just recovered from kidney stone surgery. I mentioned in the You Are song, and I was grateful to God. The words reflected that what I was going through. I went to the studio and recorded it in 1 hour. Unfortunately, he had decided not to put the song on his album, so I decided to put it on my album. This song was released as the album's 5th single, along with God's Victory. The single reached number 25 on the independent singles chart. 13. God Victory. This song was on the deluxe edition of the album. I liked this because it had an old school New Jack Swing vibe to it. This song was the first beat that I had received from DJ Genius. I had met him through YouTube. I contacted him about his beat of that song that I was interested in. I decided to email him when he got back to me a couple of days later. We exchanged phone numbers. We conversated, and I found out that he was looking for a songwriter for his beats. He asked me to write a song to this beat and to the My Questions beat. He said that he would get back to me about working together. I wrote some lyrics to this beat, but I had to refine them and rework them a couple of times. It took me 2 days to write these final lyrics. When I wrote them, he loved them. We wrote a couple of more songs together, but we ended up losing touch because he got discouraged because none of our songs were bought. This was released along with Been Good as the album's 5th single. My Questions featuring DJ Genius. I wrote this song during the same time I wrote My Refuge and Got Victory. DJ Genius was looking for a songwriting partner and he contacted me. I had met him through YouTube and I contacted him about another beat of his that I was interested in. I decided to email him. When he got back to me a couple of days later, we exchanged phone numbers. We conversated and I found out that he was looking for a songwriter for his beats. He asked me to write a song for this beat and for the Got Victory beat. He would get back to me about working together soon. I wrote some lyrics to this beat, but I had to refine them and rework them a couple of times. It took me 2 days to write these final lyrics. When I wrote them, he loved them so much. But I decided to use this song on the deluxe edition of the album because I loved it so much, and I gave him feature credit because he wrote the beat. 15. Greatest Dimensions, featuring Abel Damien. I recorded this song for Abel's album. I decided also to put this song on the deluxe edition of my album. This was the first time that I had met and worked with Ryman. I sang the hook and had a verse at the end of the song. This was one of my most favorite songs to be featured on. 16. Came Through. I wanted to make a jazz song for the album because I wanted to showcase my jazz vocal skills. I really love the gospel jazz vocalist Kim Burrell, and I wanted a song that sounded like hers. This song is about going through a storm and coming out victorious. I also found the beat to the song on YouTube and I purchased it. I recorded the final product at Ryman Studio. This was the last song that I recorded at his studio. I also put the song on the deluxe edition of the album on my Jazzland album. This was never released as a single from both albums. 17. God Can. This was another jazz song that I recorded for the deluxe edition of this project. I found this beat on YouTube as well. When I found the beat, I automatically started freestyling the lyrics based on a sermon that I had heard from Pastor B.J. Jones, A Bread of Life. He said, if no one else can help us, God can. If no one else can save us, God can. If no one else can heal us, God can. I was so inspired by his words, I wrote these lyrics to the song. I never played the song for him, though. I wish I did. This song will also appear on my Jazzland album. This is the last song that was produced by Ryman. 18. Forgive Me, Danny E.B. 2016 remix. I decided to remix my second solo single in honor of its 10th anniversary of being released. I called my producer friend Danny E.B. and told him that I wanted to do a remix. He made me purchase this beat, and I produced this song myself. This version appeared on the deluxe edition of the album. 19. Pastor O. This is a solo ad-lib version. This appeared on the deluxe edition of the album. I meant to put Hubface version on, but this was the only version I could find. This song is about me telling everyone what I'm about. It's about affirming my spirituality and celebrating my calling in the ministry. This was the 4th single from the album, and it became a top 3 single on the independent charts. This song, 20, Uplifted House Remix featuring Mr. C. This song was released as the Uplifted album's 3rd single, but with a twist. I did a house remix to it, which featured my friend Carl, aka Mr. C, whom I had met on my way to work at the Burbank Metrolink station. We both were friends with the bus driver, and he introduced us to each other. We started talking, and we found out that we shared music in common. He was a rapper and a producer, and I was a singer. He told me that he had a studio and would give me studio time for a cheap price. I said okay. The next week, I found the house remix on YouTube, and I took it over to Carl's house and we completed it. He added his rap verse, which contains the 10 Commandments, and it was on. The single stayed at number 1 on the independent dance charts for 11 weeks. Chapter 14, A Joyous Christmas. 1. A Joyous Christmas. 2. Jesus, oh, what a wonderful child. 3. Go tell it on the mountain. 4. Oh, come all ye faithful. 5. Away in the manger. 6. The Christmas song. 7. Jingle bells. 8. This Christmas. 9. Have yourself a Merry Christmas. 10. The First Noel. 11. Give someone love on Christmas. And 12. Silent Night. Album information. I love the Christmas season. All the joy, the laughter, and especially the giving. I wanted to make an album to reflect as my second favorite time of the year. This album came after a friend of mine, Infasol, sent me an instrumental track for the title track. Originally, I was just going to make the track a single, but then I started to get the Christmas spirit and decided to make a whole album of my favorite Christmas songs. 1. A Joyous Christmas. My friend Infasol wrote to me and told me that he had a Christmas beat for a Christmas song that I should record. I said, of course. I love Christmas songs. He sent it to me, and I was over the moon. The beat was awesome. I began to sing the hook and the verse, and the bridge just followed. I wanted to make a song reflecting my joy and the spirituality of the season, to remind people that it's not just about the present, it's also about celebrating the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and celebrating family as well. This is why I put scriptures in the song. The song was a Christmas hit. 2. Jesus, oh, what a wonderful child. I chose to include this song on this collection because I love this song. My favorite version of this song was the Mariah Carey version, which had us going to church at the end. I wanted to do that on this version, but couldn't find the choir beat, but it still came out pretty well. 3. Go Tell It on the Mountain. For as long as I can remember, we sang the gospel hymn during the Christmas services at my church, and folks would get the spirit and shout at the end of it. I decided to include this song because it brings back so many wonderful memories of Christmas. 4. Come All Ye Faithful. This was one of my favorite Christmas classics that I just had to remake. I love this style of the instrumental that I found on YouTube. I also love the way Sister Rosetta at Grant used to do this. Her voice was so beautiful and also would have me in tears, so I had to do this song in memory of her. 5. Away in the Manger, a simple classic. I remade this song because it tells the beautiful story of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. 6. The Christmas Song. To me, this is the absolute best version of this song was Nat King Cole's version. Every time I hear this, it puts me in a Christmas mood, even though there is no snow around my part of California. I remade this in memory of him. 7. Jingle Bells. We used to sing this song in school all the time. In the 3rd grade Christmas pageant, I led the singing of this Christmas classic. Redoing this song brought a really big smile on my face. 8. The Christmas Song. Black Christmas would not be complete without hearing this holiday classic by the late, great Donny Hathaway. I remember hearing this Christmas after Christmas after Christmas and grooving to it like it was the first time I had heard it. Many have tried to come close to the magic of this original, but it couldn't be done. I wanted to simply sing it. I knew I could have never come close to Donny. He was the best. 9. Have Yourself a Merry Christmas. I wanted to try this song because I love Christina Aguilera's version. She just took me there with her voice. 10. The First Noel. Mary J. and the Clark sisters killed this jam 3 years earlier, and I had to remake it because this is another one of my favorites. 11. Give Someone Love on Christmas. This is another original Christmas song. I see everyone celebrating the receiving and giving on Christmas. I wanted to make a song about giving to the less fortunate. and receiving nothing in return. It's not about being selfish. It's about being selfless. Not only on Christmas, but every day of the year. Once again, In Fa Soul produced the beat. 12. Silent Night. I decided to remake the Temptations version of this song because I loved and still love this song. Their version are so soulful and so poignant. The listener couldn't help but feel it, and I hope everyone feels this version as well. I recorded this in my house in one take. Chapter 15, Jazzland. 1. Jazzland. 2. Peaceful. 3. My Great-Grandmother. 4. Sweet Sunny Honey. 5. God Can. 6. Scatter Troubles Away. 7. Came Through. 8. Jesus Loves Me featuring the Jazz Express. 9. Live Together Now. 10. Morning, Noon, and Night. 11. Jazzland Part 2. 12. You Are Tropical Remix. 13. Elsewhere, Icky Loke Remix featuring Icky Loke. 14. Let There Be Love. 15. Until the Real Thing Comes Along. And 16. Peaceful, 2-version remix. Album information. This album is a tribute to my great-grandmother's favorite type of music. This album was released on what would have been my great-grandmother's 100th birthday on April 3rd, 2017. I wanted to make an album of original jazz recordings with just a little bit of my favorite remix. This album was the first full-length album I worked on with my friend and producer, Carl Anthony, aka Mr. C. This album debuted at number 3 on the Jazz Independent Albums charts and featured 2 more number 1 singles and 3 top 5 singles. 1. Jazzland. This song was one of the first songs that we recorded for this album. I wanted to make a kind of ode to jazz and to my favorite jazz musicians like Ella, Louis, and many more. I got this beat from In Fa Soul, and I told him that I was thinking of recording a jazz album, and he was more than happy to help me with the beats. This song was released as the album's 3rd single, and it reached the top 10 on Independent Singles Chart. 2. Peaceful. This song was the album's 1st single. This song was a mix of reggae music and jazz. I wanted to make a song about feeling great and relaxation. Also reference some Prince song titles as well, because this song was recorded 2 days after he had passed away. He was one of my favorite musicians in the world. This beat was supplied by DJ Jazzman, a friend of mine who I had met back in high school. We went to Grant High School together. We even played football together. I ended up leaving Grant and we lost touch until I was at a show in North Hollywood. After my musical set was done, he came up to me. My back was to him and called me by my old high school nickname. Hey, Hot Links. I didn't know you could sing like that. I turned around and went to see who was that called me, and there he was. I was so happy to see him. I asked him what he was doing at the show. He told me that he was a producer and a beat maker, and one of his acts was performing. I told him that we would have to catch up sometime. He agreed. We exchanged information and said goodbye. A couple months later, he called me and told me that he had a beat that I might like. He played the beat over the phone for me, and I said, of course I wanted it. He gave it to me for a fair price, and we've been working together ever since. And our friendship has grown stronger as well. I told him that I was a minister and I officiated some weddings before. Well, he let me officiate his wedding to his longtime boyfriend last year. This was another number 1 independent single and stayed number 1 for 2 weeks. My Great-Grandmother. My great-grandmother, Juanita Robinson, was truly an angel on earth. After the ordeal between my father and my sister, she took both my sister and I in and took care of us until we were of age. She even enrolled me in Miracle Baptist Christian School because she wanted me to have a great Christian education. I will forever love and honor her for looking out for me when I didn't look out for myself, and even when I didn't look out for her. I wanted to remember this great woman in the song again. This is kind of like a sequel to Heaven from the Oli Shea album. Once again, DJ Jazzman handed me the beat production, and Mr. C handled the vocal production. This song was released as the album's 5th single. Sweet Sunny Honey. One day at DJ Jazzman and I were hanging out. He played a jazz swing type of beat for me. The beat was awesome. I started dancing around the room and freestyling some lyrics to this beat. He was digging it. I recorded part of the demo at his house. I went back home and recorded the final lyrics that would be on the song. The inspiration came to me because Devontae and I had become romantically involved again, and I was in love with him again. I recorded the final version of the song at Carl's house, and the rest is history. 5. God Can. This was another jazz gospel song that I recorded for the deluxe edition of this project. I found this beat on YouTube as well. When I found the beat, I automatically started freestyling the lyrics based on a sermon that I heard from Pastor B.J. Jones of Bread of Life. He said, if no one else can help us, God can. If no one else can save us, God can. If no one else can heal us, God can. I was so inspired by his words, I wrote these lyrics to the song. I never played the song for him though. I wish I did. This song also appeared on this album. This was the last song that was produced by Ryman. 6. Scat Your Troubles Away. These lyrics came to me when I was having a bad day at work. I began freestyling and scatting it all of a sudden. I started feeling better about work. I got this beat from InfoSoul, and 2 hours later, I began to write. It was these lyrics that were meant for this beat. I did a demo and I played it for some friends who loved it and said that I should make a final version of it, and I did it at Carl's house. To this day, some folks tell me this song is one of their favorites from this album. 7. Came Through. I wanted to make a jazz song from this album because I wanted to showcase my jazz vocals. I really loved the gospel vocalist Karen Burrell, and I wanted a song that sounded like hers. This song was about going through a storm and coming out victorious. Also wrote the beat to this song on YouTube, and I purchased it. I recorded the final product at Ryman's studio. This was one of the last songs I recorded at his studio. Also put this song on the deluxe edition on my Jazzland album. This song was never released as a single from both albums. 8. Jesus Loves Me, featuring the Jazz Express. We used to sing this song in the Sunshine Band Deliverance Church of God in Christ. My mother would start us out and we would sing it with her. I decided to make a jazz version of this song because it is still one of my favorite gospel songs to this day. I did this version with an awesome band named the Jazz Express. I met the band leader at a show that I was doing in downtown Los Angeles. Gary Shepard was playing the saxophone for another artist that I loved named Vicky Love. I loved the way he played. We started talking after an event, and he told me that he had a band named the Jazz Express, and I should check them out. I did. I went to one of their shows, and I was blown away. I begged them to work with me on the song, and they agreed. At first, we were going to work on an original jazz song, but for some reason, this song was in my spirit, and we redid it. This song was released as the 7th and final single on this album. 9. Live Together Now. I saw the troubles that the world was going through and all the disunity, and it made me both mad and sad, especially the politics, brutality, and the racial injustice, especially the police brutality and racial injustice. I was hurt. I was so hurt by all of our mess. It was heavy on my mind when I received this track from Jazzman. I began to pour my heart out in the lyrics. I wanted everyone who listened to this song to feel what I was feeling and come together. This song was released as the 4th single from the album, and we made a West Coast G-Funk version of the song that was released as a single and video. The video starred my brother Hubface, the producer of the song and the remix, Carl Anthony, my friend Blasto, and my friend Jose, the Hostile, as the rival gang members who I bring together in the video. The video was directed and edited by me. The song peaked at number 1 on the independent singles chart for 4 weeks. 10. Morning, Noon, and Night. This was the second song that was recorded for this project. This song came about because at the time I was in deep prayer and meditation. I began to dwell on my life thus far and how God has always been there for me, to guide me. I began to praise him for everything. And I also began to sing and also began to sing praises to him. When I concluded, Jazzman called me and told me to come down to his house. He wanted me to hear something. I went to his house and he had this beat ready for me to listen to. Instantly, it took me back to my prayer and meditation time. The beat was so mellow and calming. I wrote the lyrics, and 2 days later, Carl and I recorded the final version. 11. Jazzland Part 2. I did a Part 2 to Jazzland. This song was one of the first songs that I recorded for this album. I wanted to make a kind of ode to jazz and my favorite jazz musicians like Ella, Louis, and many more. I got this beat from Infal Soul, and I told him that I wanted thinking of recording a jazz album, and he was more than happy to help me with the beat. This song was released as the album's third single, and it reached the top 10 on the independent charts. 12. You Are. I love country music, and I love jazz music, and we decided to combine the two in this remix, which was one of 10 remixes that we did for this song. Number 13, Elsewhere, Icky Loke remix featuring Icky Loke. As I said during the last song, Icky begged me and begged me and begged me to record this song. I let him finally record the remix to this song because he loved it. And he went into the studio and recorded it in 2 takes. And the rest is history. Number 14, Let There Be Love. I love Nat King Cole, and I love his version of the song. It is my favorite song by him. Nat sounded so wonderful and smooth on this song. I remade it as a tribute to him and his daughter Natalie, who also remade this song on what would have been his 100th birthday. This was the second single from the album. 15, Until the Real Thing Comes Along. During the making of this album, Devontae and I resumed our romantic relationship. Matter of fact, it got more intense than our previous romance. I knew that he was married, but we loved each other, and we were passionate about each other. But we had to keep it a secret. Also during this time, I heard the Billie Holiday version of this song, and I said it was a perfect song to describe my feelings about Devontae. I found this beat on YouTube and decided to go into the studio and remake it. This song was released as a 6th single and became another number 1 single on the independent charts. 16, Peaceful, 2 version remix. This song was the album's first single. This song was a mix of reggae music and jazz. I wanted to make a song about feeling great and relaxation. I also put references to Prince song titles as well. And I also put Shakadima and Pliers on the remix as well. We used Murder, She Wrote. I loved how he enhanced the song with his fantastic remix that DJ Jazzman did. Chapter 16, Real Life, the mixtape. 1, Real Life. 2, All Works Out. 3, Business and Pleasure. 4, Everybody's Man. 5, Moment of Clarity. 6, Words Can Express, Granddad Tribute. 7, The Devil in Your Eyes. 8, Situation. 9, Your Love Is. 10, Why Can't Pleasure Last Forever. 11, On the Other Side of the World. 12, Gone with Them Fake Folks. 13, Showed Up and Showed Out. 14, Thinking About You, Baby. 15, Back On Up. 16, Take Me There, Looking For You. 17, Love versus Lust. 18, I'm Not Scared. 19, Lesson Learned. 20, I'm Done. Album information. The majority of this album was based on my relationship with Devontae. We had gotten back together romantically and passionately, but there were so many complications. I'd become his musical manager again, which not only was a bad move, but caused us to complicate our relationship. Add to this that during the time my grandfather died, which devastated me. We ended up breaking up for good after this album was completed. This album was like my musical diary of our relationship. Production was handled by Carl Anthony. I also wrote a screenplay about this part of our relationship as well, titled Real Life, the Movie. We are getting ready to film this movie very soon. This album was another number one album for me and sold almost 5,000 copies. My second best-selling album. This album produced 4 number one independent singles and 3 top 5 singles. Number 1, Real Life. This song was the last song I recorded for this project. This song was just telling everyone about my life and who I was at the time. Infasol made an awesome beat. This ended up becoming the first single from the album and became a top 10 hit on the independent charts. 2, All Works Out. This song was one of the songs that was not based on my relationship with Devontae. I actually recorded this song first. I was planning on making an Uplifted Volume 2, and this was going to be one of the songs from the album. I bought this beat from a website called Beats Avenue. I loved the beat because it was a tropical and fun beat. This song was based on my philosophy of life. No matter what is going on right now, it will all work out in the end. The song was released as the album's 5th single and became my second number one record from the album. I directed and edited its music video, which stars myself, my friend Abraham Bucci, whom I met through Abel Damien at a show that we were doing, and also our friend Miss Lips, who I met through Abraham. We filmed this video at the historic Olivera Street, which is in Los Angeles. This was actually one of my favorite videos to make. Business and Pleasure. This song was based on my working and romantic relationship with Devontae. After we had gotten back together romantically, he asked me if I could be his musical manager again, like I was when we first met. In the heat of passion, and because I loved him, I said yes. During this time, he decided to form a group with his friends called BBH Group, and he wanted me to manage them as well. I agreed. Things were going fine at first, but then some of the other group members got complacent with Devontae and his rapping skills. They elected me to talk to him about his skills. I didn't want to because I felt that it would hurt our romantic relationship, and I did not want to do that. I got this beat from Infasol during this situation, and I just wrote out all of my feelings to this beat. Carl produced the song. The song was released as the 4th single, and it became the first number one independent single from this album. The song stayed at number 1 for 5 weeks. I decided to tell Devontae. He was mad at me at first, but it didn't end our romantic relationship. I decided to use one of my rapper friends, Big Eagle, on the remix, who I met when we joined the same Facebook groups. We ended up striking up a conversation, and we agreed to work together. I told him that I wanted to do a remix to the song, and he said he was down to do it. We shot the music video in Las Vegas. I was actually going to shoot the video without Big Ego, but it turns out that Ego came out there and he surprised me, so I let him be in the video. 4, Everybody's Man. This is another song about my relationship with Devontae. After a confrontation about his rapping skills, I discovered that he was also seeing more people than just me. He had a girlfriend, another boyfriend, and he was even seeing a transsexual. I, of course, was hurt. He was not just my man, not just his wife's man, but he was everybody's man. The chorus came to me while I was at work. I was standing up in the guard spot, and all of a sudden, I started singing the chorus a cappella. I sang it to my Infasol friend over the phone, and he sent me a killer beat that matched what I was feeling and singing perfectly. I wrote my feelings about the situation to the beat, and I took him over to Hubface house, and he produced the song. The song was released as the album's 3rd single, and it became a top 30 hit. Moment of clarity. Devontae and I started having problems between his cheating, using me for sex, studio time, and money. I had enough. I was ready to leave this affair for good. Even my spirit was down. Everyone around me saw it. I finally got the strength during the making of this song to leave him for what I thought was good. I put all my feelings about ending our relationship in the song. The song was produced by my friend Infasol and Carl Anthony. This was going to be the first single from the album, but at the last minute, I decided to make the second single and release it on Black Friday in 2017. This song became a top 3 smash and often get requests to perform it at shows. The video was directed by me and features me on the set of the play that I acted in called Magic Fruit, a modern-day retelling of Mozart's Magic Flute. 6. Words Can't Express. Grandfather Tribute. My grandfather Luke was an intelligent man. He was a great lawyer and a fantastic father, and an A-plus grandfather. He had my back in all situations and never let me make a wrong decision. He would always tell me that there is no easy way in life. You have to work hard to get what you want. During the making of this album, my grandfather became ill and he died. I was devastated. I felt so lost. I remember the day he died. It was on a Sunday, and I was getting ready to perform at my church's function. Just then, I received a call from my mother, who had just told me a week earlier that he was sick. Apparently, he had died in his sleep at the hospital in the afternoon. My world stopped, and I began crying uncontrollably. I fell to my knees and was sobbing like a baby. They tried to pick me up, but I refused to get up off the ground. They had to get the pastor to get me up. Finally, someone drove me over to where my mother was, and we cried together when I got there. I decided 1 week later, with the aid of Infasol and Carl, to make a song and a tribute to my grandfather. This song was one of my favorites from this album. 7. The Devil in Your Eyes. This is another song about Devante. This song was originally titled Digmatized, but I decided to change it so folks won't be shocked. There is also a clean version of the song called Lovematized that I released to the radio. After a moment of clarity, Devante and I got back together, and it was a bad move. He became more user-like. He would give me great sex, but he would always ask me for things and money in return. One day after our lovemaking session, he asked me to go get a payday loan for him and his wife. I was so satisfied, and I wanted to make him satisfied. I went and did it. After I did it, I found out that he was also seeing the singer of the group named Killian. I was incensed. I was hopping mad what was going on behind my back. But I was so digmatized that I didn't even care as long as he was giving me the good dick. It was fine with me. I told Carl about what was going on. He said, "Man, you're digmatized." I said, "Yeah." Jazzman started beat making for clubs, and he gave me one of his first club beats for this song. Even he told me, "Man, that brother's no good. You need to find a man like my husband, someone who will love you and not cheat on you." I didn't listen. I recorded the song, but things with Devante were still the same. The song was released as the album's 8th single and became a top 20 smash hit on the independent dance charts. The video was directed by Big Ego and his partner in crime, and it was featured Abraham Boche as my co-star. I was trying to be sexy in the video, but I don't think it worked. Situations. I originally wrote this song for 3 artists, but all 3 artists rejected the song. So I decided to keep the song and release it myself. The song is a song of encouragement during the storms and the challenges of life. Through it all, we've got to hold on to God, and He will work it out. I filmed this video on my way to work on video effects. This song had so many views that I decided to release this song as a 7th single. It became the #1 song on the album. It became another #1 independent song from the album. It was the 3rd one. My friend who I met on YouTube named Classic and DJ Quick contributed to a hit remix that is still my #1 song on Apple Music in the United States to this day. 9. Your Love Is. I wrote this song at the beginning of Devante's and I romantic relationship again. I was so happy, I just had to put my happiness in the song. Carl produced it and Infasol provided the beat. Fasol also provided the beat for the remix, which was released as the album's 11th single. Why Can't Pleasure Last Forever? This song was released at the end of Devontae and I's second and final involvement. I was missing the pleasure that we shared. I was deeply, it was deeply reflective. Friends tried to comfort me, but I refused to be comforted. Finally, Jazzman took me out to make me feel better and told me that I should write a song about what I was going through. I agreed with him and started to write the lyrics. He provided the beat, and once again, Carl provided the production. The song was released as the album's ninth single on Black Friday in 2018. It was released, it reached the top 40 on the independent singles chart. 11. On, on the Other Side of the World. During our romantic involvement, Devontae kept trying to get me involved with the problems between him and his wife. I kept declining to get involved, but he kept trying to push me. This song was my response to him. I received the beat from Classic, a French producer that I had met on YouTube. Carl loved this song and told me that this was one of his favorites that he ever produced for me. Go on with them fake folks. During this time, I was managing Devontae. He introduced me to his uncle Mac, who told me that he wanted to manage him and his group with me. I agreed to do this because I was so fond of Devontae, and I felt that Devontae would listen to both of our advice because he was not listening to my career advice. I would tell him things to help him. He would do the exact opposite. So I felt that his uncle would back me up. I was wrong. From what Devontae told me, I would give him advice and his uncle would give him the exact opposite advice. I would tell him not to take a deal, but his uncle would tell him to take it behind my back. The final straw came when Devontae told me that his uncle wanted to take over the management of the group because he felt that he could take them further than I could ever take them. I was mad, and I made this song for Devontae based on the beat that Infasol gave me. 2 weeks later, after I recorded the song, Devontae went to be managed by his uncle, but that partnership proved to be unfruitful, and he came back to be managed by me 2 months later. 13, Showed Up and Showed Out. This was another song that had nothing to do with Devontae. I was actually laying in the hospital recovering from complications from a kidney stone surgery that I had had in 2016. I went into the hospital back in January 2016 because I found out that I had kidney stones. The doctor told me that they could not operate on me until July of that year. In July of that year, I went to the hospital for surgery. After his surgery, the doctors told me that a kidney stone was lodged in my kidney, and they could not get it out. So they put a stent in my body, hoping that would help the kidney stone get out. They even put a catheter on me to help me drain the stone. Then they released me from the hospital. 3 days later, I had a massive bladder spasm and I had to be put back in the hospital. When they put me back in the hospital, they discovered that the stent was causing my body to form blood clots. They removed the stent and the catheter, but my body was still forming blood clots. I began to pray and ask God to save my life. While I was in the hospital, 2 days later, the blood clots finally stopped forming, and they put a kidney bag on me and again released me from the hospital. For the next 2 months, I was having fevers and going in and out of the hospital because of the temperature, but no blood clots. The doctors finally got the last kidney stone out on September 12th of that year, and I was healed. I remember that prayer that I prayed to God, and I wrote this song, and Infasol produced the beat. This was the first song recorded for this album. It is still one of my favorites because it reminds me of my wonderful testimony of healing. 14, Thinking About You, Baby. This song was a song that was recorded when Devontae and I had rekindled our romantic involvement. Matter of fact, I recorded the song right in front of him. He gave me a kiss right after I recorded it. This song originally appeared on BBH's mixtape, Private Property. I really fell for him. I got this beat from a producer on YouTube. I love the beat because it used a sample of one of my favorite singers of all time, Whitney Houston, singing the song Saving All My Love for You. This song surely fit the situation I was about to go through. This was one of the 5 songs that I produced for this album. Back on up. I also recorded this for the Private Property mixtape as well. I had a neighbor in my building. Every time I would see him, he would ask me for money. I got so tired of him, I would try to avoid him. I told Devontae about what I was going through. He suggested I recorded a song about it. I agreed. My friend DJ Jazzman provided me with the old school beat. I recorded the song in less than a half hour. Devontae recorded me at my house. After we recorded this song, we had relief sex, and it felt so much better. People who heard the Private Property said that this was one of the highest songs on the mixtape and one of the highlights of the mixtape as well. Number 16, Take Me There, Looking For You. This song was recorded when Devontae and I were on a break from our romance. I began to look around for other people to get into a relationship with. I wrote this song with the aid of DJ Jazzman as a musical aid for his new beats. This song was also another favorite of mine from this album, Love vs. Lust. This song originally appeared on the Private Property mixtape. I wanted to educate people on the feelings of love versus lust. Now that I listen to the song again, I realize that I should have taken my own advice and not gotten involved with Devontae. But you live and you learn. 18, I'm Not Scared. I recorded this song after the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando. Every LGBTQ person was scared that there would be a copycat shooting after the one in Orlando. Even the LA Pride Parade was almost canceled. I wrote this song to tell all the homophobes that we aren't scared of them anymore. Everyone who hears this loves it. 19, Lesson Learned. This song was recorded as the last song on the album. I got out of a relationship with Devontae. Then my friend AD started trying to have sex with me when he found out about my sexuality. He was trying to get with me behind his wife's back. This made me extremely uncomfortable. I got so uncomfortable that it even disturbed my sleeping. One night, while I was at my night job, I received a beat from Classic, and I started to freestyle the words. On my break, I wrote down the lyrics and made a demo at my house. When I got home, I loved it. And I finally recorded the song and the final version at Carl's house. This song was released as a 6th single from the album. The video was a sequel to All Works Out, and it starred Abraham Bucci, Miss Lips, my friend Eric Ransom, and my other good friend, Demetria Washington. The single became a number 2 hit on the independent singles chart, and I still get requests to perform this live. 20. I'm Done. This song was the last song that I recorded before Devontae and I broke up for good. Apparently this time, he had moved on to my house because him and his wife got into it, and he had nowhere else to go. That was another bad move. He became more and more difficult to live with. He would try to keep me up at night when I was trying to go to sleep for work by talking loud to other boos. Plus, when I was not home, I found out from my neighbors that he was bringing in Killian to have sex with him. The final straw did not come to me until the final straw did not come from me. It came from my building manager. I was sneaking him in despite my building's policy of guests staying only for 3 nights of the week. My night manager saw him trying to sneak in, and he and the security officer 86'd him from the building and threatened to kick me out. That was enough for me to leave Devontae alone for good. I recorded this song 2 days after Devontae was kicked out. A couple weeks later, I saw the night manager again, and he saw me smiling and happy. And he said, "This is so good to see the old Oluche that I used to see." This was released as the 10th and final single from the album. The song was the 5th and last number 1 independent single from this album. The video was filmed at the LA Community College in Los Angeles. It was filmed and edited by me. Chapter 17. Songs of Love and Unity. Number 1, Love and Unity. 10, LA Nights featuring Icky Loke, ER, Ronan Gray, and Mr. C. Album information. This was a compilation album of my favorite songs about love and unity. It was built around my song, Love and Unity. This was released on Valentine's Day in 2018. 2 new songs were produced from this project, and it was released exclusively on Bandcamp. 1. Love and Unity. I wrote and recorded this song because I wanted to make another song about unity and love. I got the idea based on the beat that I got from Jazzman. We were bobbing our heads to the beat, and as usual, I began to freestyle, and that's how the song came about. I went to my house and recorded the final version in 20 minutes. 10. LA Nights featuring Icky Loke, E.R. Ruiz, Ronan Gray, and Mr. C. I got the idea for this song from a beat that I had purchased from Giammo on YouTube. I knew that I wanted more rappers on it. I asked a lot of my rapper friends to be on it, but only 4 decided to be on it. My friends Icky Loke, E.R. Ruiz, Ronan Gray, and Mr. C. Mr. C produced the song, and it became a top 15 hit on the independent charts. Also did a compilation video to it. Chapter 18, Oluseyi Adeko Banjo. 1. I Speak Life. 2. ATM Freestyle. 3. Just Life. 4. Take Me Higher. 5. Soapy Booty featuring Mr. C. 6. You're My Star. 7. My Sweet Escape. 8. Roller Coaster. 9. You Deserve My Praise. 10. Oh Clap Your Hands. 11. No Worries. 12. I Ain't Trippin'. 13. More Than You Know featuring Big Ego. 14. Just Enjoying Myself. 15. Time for Loving. 16. The Devil in Your Eyes explicit version. 17. Birthday Party. 18. My Love Protege. 19. Yearning for Your Love, Benedict's Song. Album information. This is my 15th studio album. Originally, the album was going to be called 15 and was going to have a different track list and released in 2019. But when I recorded the songs ATM and I Speak Life, and they became hits, I decided to release some songs that were originally on my mixtape God Funk, and also some brand new songs. This was going to be my first album on Label Music Group, but I decided to release it on my own Centerpiece Entertainment label. This album was another #1 independent album, and 4 more independent singles, 4 more #1 independent singles, and 2 top 10 singles were produced. Number 1, I Speak Life. This was the first single from the album. This song was inspired by the late rapper XXXTentacion, who apparently spoke death on himself. I saw interviews with him where he told reporters that he was going to die young, and he did. He died at the age of 20 years old. I felt so bad for his family and his young son. I decided to make a song about speaking life to yourself instead of bad things. Speak good things, speak victory, and it will happen for you. I kind of performed the song like I was preaching on a beat. I did that on purpose to get through to some people. The beat was written by my friend Classic, and I produced the song myself. The song peaked at #1 on the independent singles chart for 2 weeks, and I shot the video at Phillips Temple CME, where I was helping them out with the play that they were doing. 2. ATM Freestyle. I tried to be a nice person and give to people my best. I am a giver, but most of the time I attract takers. I wrote this song about all the takers. I have associates and family who constantly ask me for money. I sometimes feel like my great-grandmother used to say, I wish I had all the money that people think I got. I got the beat from Jazzman, and I just recorded a freestyle to it at my house, and it came out great. I recorded another version with Big Ego that was released on the 16th album, and also our mixtape, Doing It Big. The song was and still popular. It was released as a promotional single. Just Life. I wrote this song as a demo for a group that my friend Jack Mustard was playing with. I met him at the Academy Award ceremony in 2016 when we both were up for the same Best Pop Album award. Neither of us won, but we became friends up to this very day. A year after that ceremony, I called him and told him that I had this song for his band. He said, cool. I sent it to him, and he loved it, but the band broke up before the song could be recorded. So I hung on to it, refined it, and released it myself. The song is about taking life as it comes and rolling with life's punches. 4. Take Me Higher. This is another song that was supposed to be on the Uplifted Volume 2, but I decided to release it on this album. This song is my prayer to God, my prayer every day that I go higher and higher in God. I want him to elevate my spirituality, elevate my spirit, and elevate my soul. Just do what he wanted to do with my life. This song was not released as a single, but is still one of the favorites of mine. 5. Soapy Booty featuring Mr. C. This song is a silly song. It actually came from when I got out of the shower and I realized that I still had soap in my booty crack. I started laughing and decided to write a silly song about it. I told Mr. C about the silly song, and he agreed to rap on it. We tried to make this song as silly as possible, and it worked. I wanted the beat to be country, and I got it. Mr. C often tells me that he accidentally sent it to his father, and his father loved it. This song was released as the album's 4th single, and it was a top 20 hit. This video was filmed at our live performance at the Airliner Club on its closing night. You're My Star. This song is about love and how when you're in love, you treasure them like they are folks treasure celebrities. The inspiration came to me as I was walking down Hollywood Boulevard, looking at the stars on the Walk of Fame. This song was released as the album's 3rd single, and it hit number 1 on the independent charts for 1 week. The video starred myself, John Doe's sister, Lauren, who I met through John 7 years earlier, and my friend Arista P., who I met through another friend of mine named Steve Loud, who was a preacher at Miracle Baptist Church, where I grew up. He brought her to the show with him, and me and her became friends. 7. My Sweet Escape. I got the beat from Jazz Band. This is my favorite beat ever because it has an 80s R&B type of style, and I love 80s music. This song is about a love that relieves your burdens and stress, sort of like magic. This beat helped me create the words that I wasn't. This beat helped me create the words. I wasn't in love when I wrote this, but the song has and is about love and has a love feel to it. I remember hearing it and absolutely just falling in love with it. Even the video is fun. It features Abraham Bucci, his friend and my former boo, Ruben Bouguillon, his other friends, and Abraham's sister Sarai. In the video, we were dancing and chilling and having a good time. This was actually on the deluxe edition and not on the standard edition. This was the 2nd single from the album and another number 1 single for 3 weeks. Roller Coaster. I actually wrote the lyrics to this song 16 years before I actually recorded this song. During that time, I was going with a dude who ended up being a player and ended up breaking my heart. I was just 22 years old at the time. My friend gave me the advice about love being a roller coaster. I loved that, and I wrote the lyrics around their advice. I had completely forgotten about the lyrics after I wrote them until I was looking at my email and came across the lyrics after I got the beat. The lyrics fit perfectly with the song. Originally, this was going to be on my God Funk mixtape. I liked the song so much, I decided to put it on this album as well. You Deserve My Praise. This song is another God Funk transfer to this album. This song is about praising God and giving Him glory in all things. I wrote this song in 15 minutes. After I got this beat from Jazzman, it was like it was meant to sing it. This was directly from God. 10. Oh, Clap Your Hands. This is a call to worship to all the saints. I got the inspiration for this song when I was leading worship at the Bread of Life Worship Center. While I was leading the praise and worship, I noticed that there was someone who refuses to praise God in front of me. I went in their face and got them to praise God with me. I wrote this one day later. Classic supplied the beat. This was also part of the God Funk mixtape. 11. No Worries. I got the idea from this song from my friend Ronan Gray. He always says, I never had a bad day in my life. I told him that, and I took that and I built this song around it. This is about not letting the cares of this world get you down. Like, live your life like it's your best day. Also, live like it's your last day. M. Fasol provided the G-Funk beat, and this was also from God Funk. This song was the seventh and last single from this album. No video was made to this song. 12. I Ain't Trippin'. This song came about because someone that I knew was talking about me behind my back, saying that I was fat, I couldn't sing, and I was a fag who was going to hell. It hurt me, but I decided to put my pain into a song and make it into a positive, not a negative, and give the power back to me and take the power away from the hater. Jazzman supplied the G-Funk beat, and I supplied the production. This was also originally on the God Funk album, More Than You Know, featuring Big Ego. My friend Abraham Bucci called me one day and told me that he had a serious crush on another comedian that we both knew. He was telling me that his feelings were as deep for the other person, but they just did not know, or wasn't even paying attention. He said he loved them more than they knew. I decided to write about this in a song, When I Hung Up. And when I hung up, I received a song from Jazzman, and the words just followed. I then asked my friend Big Ego if he could rap on it, and he agreed. The song was released as an album's sixth single, along with Time for Lovin'. It peaked at number 35 on the independent singles chart. Number 14, Just Enjoying Myself. This is a dance song about dancing in a club, enjoying yourself, no matter who likes or who doesn't like it. No matter if they talk bad about you or you talk bad about your weight you have or what you have on. I got the idea from the club days when I remember going out to the club and getting on the dance floor. And Falso sent this song to me when I told him that I wanted a dance song. This was the third single from the album and the third straight number one from the album. I filmed the video in the Leimert Park, dancing in the dance festival that they were having. I was dancing in the festival and having a great time, and I filmed it with video effects. 15, Time for Lovin'. This song is about waiting until marriage to have sex with someone you love. The song came from a conversation that I had with my friend Dante Mitchell. I told him that sex is so much sweeter and more satisfying when you're in a committed relationship than just having casual sex with a random stranger. After a while, he agreed with me. I recorded this demo 2 days later, and a week later, I recorded the final version at Carl's house. I got the beat from a beat maker on YouTube. This song was released as a sixth single, along with More Than You Know, The Devil in Your Eyes explicit version. This song was the Dickmatized version. I decided to get the courage to release this song, and I did it. And it became a top 20 smash hit on the independent dance charts. 17, Birthday Party. I wrote this song on my 38th birthday. I wanted to celebrate it where I was in life and how far I had come. Classic made this G-Funk beat. I produced this song. This was also from my God Funk mixtape as well. My Love Protege. This song was based on conversations that I had with Carl. I would tell him about various people that I had met and tried to get with, and also how I tried to work with him to make them my boyfriends. He would say, "That's your new protege, huh?" I would laugh and agreed. He got that from his cousin, who also used to call his girlfriends his proteges. And after that, they did something like that. He would dump them and say they weren't all that. I got this beat, and immediately it was right on time for this song. I made a New Jack Swing remix that I made the video for in Las Vegas. The video featured my friend Farillo's girlfriend, Sade, as my love interest in the video. The song was released as a fifth single from the album, and it reached number 12 on the independent charts. 19, Yearning for Your Love, Benedict's song. During the making of this project, I was cast in a play called Baby Love. I played a character named Benedict, who was hopelessly in love with the main character, Baby, but she doesn't pay attention to him until the other loves that she seeks out turns out bad. This was my song to her, telling her that my intentions about loving her. She still doesn't pay me attention after I sing this song to her. This song was recorded in my home studio, and we played it during the play. The play was a great success and ran for almost 4 months. Everyone who saw the play said it was a highlight of the play. This song was. Chapter 19, the 16th. 1. Fun. 2. Mighty Love, featuring Fenzorze. 3. I Just Love the Beat. 4. Hating on a Brother. 5. Good Morning, Beautiful. 6. Happily Ever After. 7. Temptations, featuring Vidal Garcia. 8. Rock On. 9. Relax at Home. 10. Love is Love. 11. Can't Control Myself. 12. I want to be yours every day. 13. Most High God. 14. Can't Control Myself remix. 15. Happily Ever After remix. 16. Good Time bonus track. 17. Washed Away featuring T-Biz. 18. Tell Me Now. 19. The Right One. And 20. Definition of a Player featuring Big Ego. Album information. This was my first and only album with no label records. That closed after the last single was released. I signed to that label by the man who mastered the two albums, Two is Better Than One, and Uplifted album. His name was Gillian Gio X. He started a label in partnership with Warner Brothers Records. He called me and told me that since he got the new deal, he wanted me to be one of the artists on the label because he liked my talent. I accepted his offer. It took me about 4 months to record this album. This album reflects the optimism that I felt about the deal and about what was going on in my life. The album features 5 more #1 independent songs and 3 top 10 independent chart hits. 1. Fun. Originally, I recorded this song as a duet between the rapper Aggressive and myself, but because of his bad attitude and us getting into a heated argument, I decided to record this track with my friend J Boog. The concept of this song is just letting go of the cares of this life and having a good time. I met J Boog through my friend Nitro. Nitro was raving about J Boog's video that he produced, so I checked it out and I liked it. I actually liked him and wanted to get with him. I contacted him on Instagram and we began talking. About a month, I asked him if he could do a song together. He said okay. I sent him the track and he recorded his part. My plan was to get with him while we were at Carl's studio. On that night session, he brought his girlfriend at the time, so I knew getting with him was out the door. Looking back, I think he knew my plans. That's why he brought this woman. Jay nailed his verse in one take, which I've never seen a rapper do. The beat was made by my friend Jazzman. Production was handled by myself and Carl. I wanted the song to be my first single, but the record company told me that they wanted another song to be the first single. They finally decided to make the song the third single from the album, and it became a top 3 record on the independent charts. The video was a mixture of Jay's live performance shots at the show that we did at the airline in closing, and shots of me having fun at Venice Beach. I edited the video, but Jay did not like it. 2. Mighty Love, featuring Fenzorze. During the making of this album, a beat maker from Holland got in touch with me on Facebook and told me that he wanted to work on a song with me. Apparently, he had been a fan of mine for a long time, and he just wanted to work with me on a song for his album compilation. I said, okay. His name was Fenzorze. He asked me for my email, and then he sent me this beat. When I heard the beat, I liked it. It made me feel so good. It made me feel love. At that time, I was in love with a man named Jeremy, who I worked with at the job that I was security at. We pretty much had to keep our love a secret because he was a client of the company I worked for. The company rule was no fraternizing with the client, but I was truly in love. We would talk every day and find ways to see each other. When he kissed me, I was in heaven, so I decided to write a song dedicated to him and that the Fenzorze gave me. This song became the 5th single from the album and the top 10 on the independent dance chart. I Just Love the Beat. This song is my ode to a wonderful genius, M. Fa Soul. He sent me the beat, and I decided that I would pay tribute to him in this song. Needless to say, he loved it. The song became the second single and the second number one from the album. The video featured me on stage at a concert, as well as me dancing backstage with Abraham, Buche, and others. 4. Hating on a Brother. I wrote this song after my heated argument with Agrisis. He called me stupid for believing in God and an amateur that did not know how to record. My sister was also talking about my apartment, saying bad things and saying that I lived in the ghetto. So I just wrote my response to them in this song. The record company liked the song so much that they made this song the first single from the album. And the single stayed at number one on the independent charts for 7 weeks. The video was filmed in my apartment and also in front of my new producer Lance's house. 5. Good Morning, Beautiful. I wrote the lyrics in 2017 for an artist named Jessica Crooks for her debut album, but she decided not to use it when she found out that I lived in Skid Row, when she took me home after the recording session. I was hurt, but I knew it was her loss. I tucked the lyrics away until I got this pop guitar-driven beat by M. Fa Soul. All of a sudden, I started singing the chorus and this song for the beat, and the rest of the words came to me. Just like magic. I took it to Carl's house, and we recorded it in one take. Happily Ever After. I have always been a lover of fairy tales. My favorite is the Disney version of Cinderella. I felt like I was in a fairy tale with Jeremy. I had finally found my Prince Charming. After so many no-good lovers, I had found the one. I wrote this song as if I was telling a true-life fairy tale. We did a remix to it, which my new friend, who I had met through another friend, Tantu, produced. The video featured me as a counselor to a grouty kids. I was telling them a story to calm them down. In the original ending at the video, I was going to meet a man who was my friend, Marius, and we would get together. But at the last minute, I decided to cut that ending, which made Marius mad at me. The song was released as a sixth single from the album and the first single from my homemade Good Funk album. The song became another number one single for me and my second video to reach 100,000 plays on YouTube. 7. Temptations by Guy featuring Vidal Garcia. I decided to work with some new producers on this album called the Beat Runners. I had met them through my Instagram page. They sent me a message saying that they had a great deal if I signed up to be a part of their mailing list. I would get 20 free beats. I signed up, and this was one of the free beats that I got. Vidal Garcia's voice was already on the chorus. I just wrote a song around his chorus. I recorded this song at my house. Rock On. This song was another free beat that I got from the Beat Runners. This song was inspired by the associate who I had to counsel. Apparently she was going through so much that she didn't know what to do. She felt like she didn't want to live anymore. I told her life is like music. When things get difficult, you still gotta rock on. She said she appreciated my advice, and I had saved her from committing suicide. That inspired me to write the words and the concept for the song. Relax at Home. This was another beat from the Beat Runners. I had been working nonstop for 7 days in a row. I had no time to relax and chill. I decided I needed some time to just live life away from work. So I wrote this song as a way to just let everyone know what I wanted to do. After I wrote the song, my boss decided to give me 2 days off in a row. I was so happy. This song was released as a third single as a result of the video. We filmed the video when I was hanging out with Abraham and his son, little AB. We were lying down on our blankets on the beach, on the Venice beach, and I thought it would be cool to just film a video in the moment at the beach. I had Abraham hold the camera for me, and we filmed the video with Video FX. The video and the single were a hit, peaking at number one on the independent charts. This was my third straight number one from the album. 10. Love is Love. This song was one of the first songs I recorded for this project. I got the inspiration from one of my straight friends in our conversation when I told him that I was in love with Jeremy. I thought he would trip out because he simply told me, but he simply told me, love is love. As long as you love, as long as you're in love, it is fine with me. I was happy that he accepted me. I didn't write the song immediately. Matter of fact, I wasn't going to write a song, period, until I was at work at AG Jeans. I was standing in front of the store, and all of a sudden, I started singing the chorus. I had originally wanted the song to be in the Jump to It by Aretha Franklin style. But when I got the beat from Beat Runners with the Luther Vandross sample, I knew that the beat was perfect. I built the song around this concept and recorded the final version at Carl's house. In the video, which was released on Valentine's Day 2020, I got married to my friend Arista, and Anthony Desire was the preacher. Everyone thought that I had actually gotten married for real and was sending me congratulations, but I had to tell them that it was only for the video. The song was released as the 7th single from the album and became another number one for me. Plus, it became the 4th song of mine to pass the 100,000 plays mark on YouTube. 11. Can't control myself. There was an Instagram muscle man named Jamaica Donnie that was so fine. He would take pictures with his shirt off, and it would just drove me crazy. I sent him an Instagram message one day, and we agreed that when he was in town, we would get together. A couple months later, he messaged me and told me that he was coming to LA that week. I said, cool. I gave him my phone number, and he called me when he touched down. We hung out. I was so smitten by him. He looked even better in person. His pictures did not do him justice at all. The second night he was in LA, I couldn't control myself. I ended up kissing him, and after that, it was on and cracking. It was awesome. I wrote the lyrics to the song after he had left that day. We spent the next 3 days together. Donnie went back to Florida, and we still talk to this day. This song's beat came from Beat Runners, who also made the beat for the remix. This was released as the 8th and final single from the album. I wanted to release it as a 3rd single, but the record company did not want to release it until the end. The song became a top 20 hit. 12. I Want to Be Yours Every Day. By the time I recorded this song, Jeremy and I had broken up because we had to go to other jobs, and he moved to New York. He told me he didn't want a long-distance relationship, so I said, okay. There was a new guy in the company named Stan. He was tall, light-skinned, and muscular. Oh, he was so fine. I fantasized about him daily. I wrote this song about Stan. The beat came from Jazzman, and I produced the song myself. I released it as the 2nd single from Homemade Good Fun. Most High God. I began to think about all the things God had done for me. I had actually lost another job at the company where I met Jeremy. I was down, but within 2 days, my old job called me and I received another job. I was so happy that I wrote this song about it. Once again, the Beat Runners made the beat and I produced it myself. Also released it as a 4th single from Homemade Good Funk. Can't Control Myself, the remix. This remix was also produced by the Beat Runners, and it became a top 20 hit. Happily Ever After, the remix. This song was produced by Tantu, a really great beat maker that I had met. He gave me the song, and I just rolled with it, and it became another number one independent single. And we combined it with the original version on the video, which paid 100 plus views on YouTube. 16. Good Time bonus track. This song was released on the deluxe edition and also on the standard edition. It's an ode to funk and dance music. This song was heavily influenced by Prince's sound. It even had a Prince-like breakdown at the end of it. I recorded the song at Carl's house. I wish I had released it as a single. 17. Washed Away featuring T-Biz. This song was on the special edition of this album. I was involved with an organization called the Downtown Clergy Council, an organization made up of ministers that lived and worked in downtown Skid Row. We had various events and community events. One of these events was called a prayer walk, where we from the Clergy Council went out together and prayed for the various homeless people in the community. At one of these prayer walks, I met a young country boy who stayed at the LA Mission named Timothy. Tim was one of the volunteers from the LA Mission program who went with us to pray. Pastor Antoine, who was one of the chaplains at the LA Mission, recruited him to come out with us. The first thing Tim told me was, "I know you from somewhere." I couldn't imagine where he knew me from. I didn't realize it then, but that was a pickup line. I started to kind of like him after that and get close to him. After the prayer walk, I made it a point to get his number and work on getting with him. We talked for a while. During one of our telephone conversations, he told me that he was a rapper. I thought, bingo, now I got him. I said, I can help you record. I can help you record a song. I found out one of the beats that the Beat Wonders gave me, and I gave it to him. He insisted that I be on the hook. I said, okay. We went to the studio 2 weeks later and recorded that song. We released it on my label. Afterwards, I found out that he was just using me to get a single out. I never spoke to him again after that. I did a solo remix to this track on my classic Reimaginations album. Tell Me Now. This song was also on the deluxe edition of the album. This song was recorded when Jeremy and I first got together. This song was about how I wanted to be with him, but I had to know if he was feeling me or if it was just one-sided, because he would kind of flirt with me, but I wasn't sure if he was interested or if he was just being nice. I got my answer later when he asked me for my phone number, and I got his, and we talked for a while. The Right One. The song was actually on the deluxe edition. This was made about Jeremy. I thought this was the right one and we would be together forever. Infaso made the beat. I produced the song. I still think that this song should have been a single, but the record company did not agree, so it was never released as a single. 20. Definition of a Boss Player featuring Big Ego. During the making of this album, I was making a joint album with Big Ego called Doing It Big. This was one of the songs that we put on the album. I liked it so much that I put it on my deluxe edition of this album as well. This song is about being a boss in every situation. Ego supplied the beat and I provided the vocals. It was a match made in heaven, and it is still one of my favorites that we ever recorded together. Chapter 20. Spiritual. 1. Beloved intro. 2. Spiritual. 3. Saw me through. 4. Favor. 5. Thank you, Lord. 6. Does God still love me? 7. Gonna be joyful. 8. Unconditional love. 9. God's got my back. 10. Blessings upon me. 11. The blood. 12. Beautiful. 13. Who is God to you? 14. Love song to God. Outro. Album information. It had been 3 years since I had done a full-length Pastor O album, and I felt that it was time to do another one. The album reflected my spirituality and overcoming life's challenges with the help of the Almighty. It's a life album. It was my 17th studio album, and it was released on my 39th birthday. This album gave me 3 more number 1 independent single songs and 2 top 10 songs. Plus, this album debuted at number 1 on the independent gospel album charts. 1. Beloved, intro. When I was a student at Miracle Baptist Christian School, from the 8th grade to the 9th grade, every Thursday we used to have a group assembly called chapel. In the middle of the day, all of the students and teachers would gather together and pray and sing spiritual songs. One of the songs that we would sing was called Beloved, Let Us Love One Another. To this day, I still remember all the words to that song. While I was making this album, that song was heavily on my mind, and I had to record an a cappella version to it. Spiritual. This was the second official single from the album. It had the Afrobeat and Latin influence rhythms on it. I got the beat from Carl. This song was about living spiritually in a world of sickness. This video was filmed at my former church, Mount Sinai Missionary Baptist Church. After I didn't get permission to film the Thank You Lord video inside of the church, I decided that I should get permission to film this video in the church. The song did very well. It became #1 on the independent singles chart and the independent gospel singles chart for 3 weeks. 3. Saw Me Through. During the making of this album, I was facing an eviction because my landlords were being unreasonable and stopped taking my rent. They stopped fixing the problems in my unit. It got so bad that I had to consult the legal aid of Los Angeles to help me. After months of fighting the case and legal aid calling the Board of Health and Safety against the building, the case was settled 3 days before we were supposed to go to court. I was so happy about the victory, I wrote this song and produced it. This song was released as the 5th single from the album. Favor. I wrote this song after I wrote Saw Me Through because I noticed it was by God's grace, mercy, and favor that I still had my place, still had my job, and still had my life. I wanted to worship God in song. The single was released as Unconditional Love, with Unconditional Love as the 7th and last single from the album. Thank You, Lord. This song was the first official single from the album. The song was released 9 months before the album was released because I just wanted to have a Pastor O single in 2018. The video was filmed at Mount Sinai Baptist Church during our Tuesday night worship service. I got in big trouble with the board of Mount Sinai because I just shot it and did not ask for permission. I almost got kicked out of the church for shooting members without their permission. I had to take it down, but years later, after I left the church, I put it back up. The song ended up becoming a top 10 song on the gospel singles chart. 6. Does God Still Love Me? Everyone goes through doubting if God still loves them after they have repeatedly committed a sin. This song is an awesome answer to the question. There is nothing that we can do for God to stop loving us. People stop loving us, but God never stops loving us, despite our many sins. That's why He sent His only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, to die for us, so that we can be reconciled to Him. This song was released as the album's 4th single, and although no video was made to this song, it still ended up becoming a top 30 gospel single. 7. Gonna Be Joyful. I wrote this song in the midst of my housing trial. Everyone was telling me that I should be sad, but I kept my faith and said nothing was going to make me not be joyful. Infalsol gave me the beat, and I just flowed with it. My friend Sean Mack, whom I met during the comedy show, made a cartoon video for me. This was the 3rd single from the album and the 2nd gospel #1 song from the album. Unconditional Love. I saw the condition of the world today, and like always, it bothered me. I said, man, we need to love each other instead of separating and acting crazy with each other. Falsol felt to it the same way. That's why he gave me the beat. The song, along with Favor, was released as a final single from this album. God's Got My Back. This song was completed during my housing trial. I actually started writing this chorus of this song 17 years before this song actually came out. I started singing the chorus to my friend Gail in 2002, but I never found a beat that fit this song until Falsol, on his trip to Los Angeles, started playing this track for me. All of a sudden, the words of the chorus came to me, and I wrote the verse around it as well. This song became the 5th single from the album and another top 10 single as well. We filmed the video at the Catholic Church on Figueroa and Adams. Everyone loves this song. Everyone was so wonderful to us there. 10. Blessings Upon Me. I wrote this song based on the beat. The words were driven by the beat. I just wanted to give God his due for blessing me every day of my life. 11. The Blood. Growing up in church, we used to sing this song, Nothing But the Blood, during communion service. And we also sang I Know It Was the Blood during the same service. During that time, it was during the passing of the grape juice at the service. When my friend Juju asked me to do another song with her and her band, I immediately thought of this song because it was ringing in my spirit. I wanted to release this song as a single, but due to some copyright issues, the song was never released. Beautiful. This song was a sequel to Perfect. I wanted to make a song like Perfect, but it never happened. But then Falso gave me this beat, and I said, there it is. This is the perfect sequel to Perfect. The song is about appreciating your love for who they are and appreciating their inner beauty, not just their outer beauty. I was not in love when I wrote this. I just wanted to talk about love. This was my 100th single. My friend St. James performed on the remix, and it did well. We had an event, a video shoot to celebrate the single and release as well, and it went well. The video features so many of my good friends, including Izova, Carl Anthony, who also produced the song, Ronan Gray, and many others. The song became another #1 record for 2 weeks. Who is God to you? Many people, for different reasons, have different versions of God. Some people think God as their all in all, their healer, their friend. Others think of God as their genie, or some spirit that they use for possessions. Some people think God is nothing at all. This song came out of my curiosity. I've always wondered what others thought of God. When Falso gave me this beat, I knew that it was right for this song, and I recorded it with Carl. This was also one of my favorites from this project. 14. Love Songs to God, the outro. I just wanted to create a short worship song to God for everything that he has ever done to me. I wanted to give him glory for taking me thus far in life. Carl produced this, and Falso gave me the beat to complete the worship song. Chapter 21. Classic Reimagination. 1. Go Higher Lasts Longer. 2. I Want You. 3. Don't Call Me List. 4. Don't Play With Me. 5. I'm Happy With Me. 6. Just Another Day. 7. Really Feeling You. 8. Success. 9. My Sunshines. 10. Made It On My Own. 11. You're My Star Remix. 12. Washed Away Solo Remix. Album information. Originally, this album was going to be an album of just remix, some of my favorite songs reimagined through me. But because I knew I wasn't going to get permission from the artists to do some of their songs, I decided to record all new music but keep the same title. This album came out as a surprise release for my listeners, and I planned it that way. I wanted to do a Beyonce and drop some surprise release. This album was successful. It gave me 2 more #1 singles. 1. Go Higher Lasts Longer. This song was my breakthrough song in so many ways. It sold 450,000 copies. It became my first video to hit over 100,000 plays on YouTube, my first song to gain 3,000 streams on Spotify, and my first worldwide smash. This song actually came to me because I was motivating my daughter, because she wanted to give up school and be a full-time mother. I said, don't give up on your education. You can be a good mom and still get an education. You got to go higher and last longer. Be an example to your children. All of a sudden, I started thinking about the line, go higher, last longer, and a melody came to me. I called Jazzman, and he gave me this beat, and I wrote a motivational song around with it, and we recorded it at Carl's studio. Little did I know that this was going to be the lead single from the album, and it would blow up like it did. 2. I Want You. This song was supposed to be released in 2020 on my dance project, but I decided to release it on this album instead. This is a G-Funk style song based on Clarence, a man that I liked in my building. I liked him and I really wanted to be with him. I wrote this song to him. My boy Classic sent me this beat, and it was spot on. The single was the sixth and final single from the album. 3. Don't Call Me This. I had messed with this man named Kenny back in 2009, only one time. I met him more. I wanted more, but I found out that he was verbally abusive and mentally unstable, and I left him alone. But every now and then he would call me and try to get back with me. One time he called me, and when I told him that I was seeing someone else, he got mad and started cursing me out. I said, "Leave me the hell alone, you punk ass. You're on my Don't Call Me list." That's how the title came to be. I got this beat from my friend Giamo and immediately released the song on SoundCloud. 4. Don't Play With Me. My friend Ronan Gray loves to play sexual jokes with me, and I wrote this song to him. Don't play with me unless you want me to do something. This song was the third single from the album, and it became a top 20 hit despite a video not being produced to this song. 9. I'm Happy Being Me. I wrote this song because one person that I knew said I couldn't find a man because I was fat. This G-Funk song reflects my attitudes about that statement. I used my sadness to make this masterpiece. 6. Just Another Day. I had to remake one of my favorite classic gospel songs. I remember my great-grandmother used to sing this song during the testimony service at church. I never understood what it meant until I got older and started living my life, especially after the complications from my kidney stone surgery that almost killed me. By God's grace and mercy, I'm still here. I wanted to praise God and use this song, and I accomplished it with the help of Jasmine and myself. Really Feeling You. I wrote this song to Jeremy at the beginning of our relationship. I wrote this to him, and I played it for him. He loved it, and we got together because of this song. 8. Success. This song was the second single from the album. This song is kind of like a bragging song about all the success that I have been receiving in my ministry, my music, my writing, and my acting career. This is a G-Funk beat. I love this song so much that I put it on my Homemade Good Funk album. This was the second single from this album and the second #1 independent song from this album. And also the third video of mine to hit over 100,000 plus views on YouTube. 9. My Sunshines. This song is about my grandchildren. I love all 4 of them. They are truly a gift to me. Every day with them is awesome. Fasol provided the beat for me after I would not stop talking about them. I put all of my love for them into this song. 10. Making It On My Own. I wrote this song during the mixtape sessions. This song was telling Devontae that I was completely over him. Devontae tried to call me, but I was completely over him and over the drama, and I told him to step off. This song was produced by myself. I wanted to release it as a single, but as the last minute, I decided not to release it as a single. 11. You're My Star Remix. This song is a remix that I remixed myself, and it became a hit. Number 12. Washed Away Solo Remix. This song was a special edition of the album. I was involved with the downtown LA clergy. After my involvement with T-Biz, I decided to record a solo version of myself of the song, and it really did well. Chapter 22, Homemade Good Funk. 1. Happily Ever After Remix. 2. I Want to Be Yours Every Day. 3. God's Love Lives in Me. 4. Success. 5. Most High God. 6. Infectious. 7. Poetry in Motion. 8. Gets Me Hot. 9. I'm Not Changing for Nobody. 10. Joy. 11. Situations, DJ Quick, featuring DJ Quick, the remix. 12. Why Can't Pleasure Last Forever, classic remix. And 13. I Speak Life, classic remix. Album information. This is a G-Funk album. I love G-Funk music. I decided to make an album of my favorite music. All these songs were produced by myself at my house. Most of the beats were made by Classic and Infal Soul. This album produced 3 more independent #1 songs and 2 top 20 hits. 1. Happily Ever After Remix. Tan2 decided to remix this song, and it became another number one independent single for me and my second video to reach over 100,000 plays. 2. I Want to Be Yours Every Day. By the time I recorded this song, Jeremy and I had broken up because he had to go back to the other job site in New York. He told me that he didn't do long-distance relationships, so I said, okay. There was a new guy at the company named Stan. He was tall, light-skinned, and muscular. Oh, he was so fine. I fantasized about him daily. I wrote this song about Stan. The beat came from Jazzman, and I produced this song myself. I released it as the second single from the Homemade Good Funk album. 3. God's Love Lives in Me. I wrote this because I wanted the world to know why I act the way that I actually do, why I smile all the time, why I have all this joy in my heart. This song was produced by Classic and myself. Okay. Success. This song was the second single from the album, and this song is kind of a bragging song about all the success that I have been receiving in my ministry, my music, my writing, and my acting career. This is a G-Funk song and a G-Funk beat. I love this song so much that I put this on my Homemade Good Funk album as well. This was the second single from this album and my second number one independent song from this album. Also, this was the third video of mine to hit over 100,000 plus views on YouTube. 5. Most High God. I began to think about all the things that God had done for me thus far. I had actually lost another job at the company where I met Jeremy. I was down, but within 2 days, my old job called me, and I received another job as well. I was so happy that I wrote this song about it. Once again, the Beat Runners made this beat, and I produced it myself. I also released this as the fourth single from Homemade Good Funk. 6. Infectious. I got this beat from Classic. This song was dedicated to my love at the time, Ruben. He was amazing. His love made me so happy. I was smiling every day. He was sent from heaven. The lyrics just came to me, thinking about him. This was released as the third single from the album. 7. Poetry in Motion. This song was also about Ruben. I saw him walking and I said, "Baby, you're poetry in motion." He said, "You should make a song about it and let me hear it." I got the beat from Fossil and I recorded this song like a freestyle. I played it for him and he loved it, and we made love after he heard it. 8. Gets Me Hot. Freestyle. My neighbor was playing his music loudly. I told my manager about it, but he did not do anything about it. I was so mad. I recorded the beat that Classic gave me. I recorded this song in 5 minutes. 9. I'm Not Changing for Nobody. This song is about me asserting my self-esteem again to someone else who was talking bad about me. The soul gave me the beat, and I produced the song. 10. Joy. This is another song about Ruben. I was so joyful about loving him. I recorded this song in 20 minutes, right in front of him. The beat was made by Classic, and the song was produced by me. 10. Situations featuring DJ Quick, the remix. I originally wrote this song for 3 artists, but all 3 rejected this song. So I decided to keep this song and release it myself. This song is a song about encouragement during the storms and the challenges of life. Through it all, we've got to hold on to God, and He will work it all out. I filmed this video on my way to work on Video FX. This song had so many views that I decided to release this song as a 7th single from the album. It became the third number one independent song from this album. My friend who I met on YouTube named Classic and DJ Quick contributed a hit remix that is still number one on Apple Music in the United States 3 years later. 12. Why Can't Pleasure Last Forever? This song was written at the end of Devontae and I's second and final involvement. I was missing the pleasure that we shared. I was deeply reflective. Friends tried to comfort me, but I refused to be comforted. Finally, Jasmine took me out to make me feel better and told me that I should write a song about what I was going through. I agreed with him and started to write the lyrics. He provided the beat, and once again, Carl provided the production. This song was released as the album's ninth single on Black Friday 2018. It reached the top 40 of the independent singles chart, and the remix was also produced by Classic. What a great producer. 13, I Speak Life, the remix. This song peaked at number 1 on the independent singles chart for 2 weeks, and I shot the video at Phillips Temple CME, where I was helping them out in the play that they were doing. Once again, Classic provided the remix for this single, and it was a big success. Chapter 23, All of My Best, Volume 2. 69, All of My Best, and 70, Something About Music. Album information. This was my second best of collection and my largest collection of music ever. It featured 94 songs from 2012 until 2020. It did well for a box set, debuting at number 9 on the independent singles chart. 69, All of My Best. I just wanted to make a title track for this collection. I hit up Jazzman, who supplied me with the beat, and I produced this track. This song is about giving your best to your lover and getting it back in return. This was released as the first single from this collection and peaked at number 50 on the independent singles chart. 70, Something About Music. I just wanted to express my feelings about what music meant to me. I got this beat from YouTube, from a YouTuber named DJ No Name. I produced this track myself. I did it in one take. This song was released as the second and final single from this collection. Chapter 24, 40-20. 1, 40-20. 2, Proud to Be Me. 3, Ain't Nothing Like Me, Get Your Sexy On. 4, World Party. 5, Tip Electronic. 6, Only Love. 7, Noise Party. 8, The Future. 9, Celebrate 40. 10, Accelerate. 11, Brighter Days. 12, Delivered featuring Kristen Velour. 13, You. 14, Power to the Peeps. 15, Back It Up. 16, Everything Will Be Alright, Don't Panic. 17, 40-20 Remix. 18, Proud to Be Me Remix. 19, Ain't Nothing Like Me Remix. 20, Tip Electronic Remix. 21, Delivered Remix. 22, Noise Party Remix. 23, The Future Remix. 24, World Party Remix. 25, Everything Will Be Alright, Don't Panic Remix featuring DDOC. 26, Jesus Crazy 2020 Solo Remix. Album information. Not only was this album my 20th album, but this album was released on my 40th birthday. My friend MJ Ferrillo gave me the inspiration to make this album. He's a dance artist who does very well on the dance charts, and I wanted to be like him on this record, full of dance music. This album is a celebration of me making a milestone in my life that I never thought I would ever see. This album was released in 2 editions, the standard edition with 12 songs and the deluxe edition with 26 songs. Unfortunately, I couldn't fully promote it on the road like I planned to due to COVID-19 virus affecting the shows and the travels, but I still promoted it as much as I could. This album was produced by Carl Anthony. Lance produced 1 song, and Zach Klein produced 2 songs on this album. The album contains 7 number 1 independent singles and 3 top 10 singles thus far. This album debuted at number 1 on the independent singles chart and sold very well so far, and also I won an Independent Music Award for this album as well. 1, 40-20. Fasol gave me this beat, and Zach provided the production. This song is a celebration of my life and my career thus far. This was released as the second single from the album. We did a remix on the deluxe edition by Jasmine. make a song promoting world peace and love. And this song, I wanted to world to party together instead of fighting each other and start loving each other. This song will be released as the 7th single from this album. The remix was handled by the Beat Made BA remixer from the Holland, who I met on SoundCloud. 5. Typical Electronic. I originally wrote these lyrics to this song 10 years ago with Jason, but unfortunately we could not find a beat to it. I did not think about the title until I was making this album. All of a sudden, when I got the beat from Fa Soul, I started singing the lyrics to the songs like I did in all with the other songs. It came out so natural, like it was meant to be sung at this time, instead of 10 years ago. Giacomo handled the remix, and I handled the production of the remix, which can be found on the deluxe edition of this album. 6. Only Love. I used to love that song by the artist named Hathaway. The song was titled What Is Love? And I promised that if I ever made a dance album, that I would do a similar song to Hathaway's. Jazzman helped me accomplish this goal with his awesome beat, and Carl helped me with the awesome production. I love this song so much that I also put it on the Welcome to the Love Room album. 7. Noise Party. I worked with a new beat maker doing this project named DJ Rocka. I met Rocka when he requested me on Facebook. We started to talk on the messenger, and he told me that he had made beats. He sent me some sample beats. I liked them, but this beat that I chose for this song really stood out to me. Something about this beat really made me want to get up and party. I told Rocka that I wanted this beat, and he gave it to me at a fair price. I immediately got to work on the words. I wanted to make a party song that you could play in a club, that anyone could get their groove on to. Carl handled the production of the song, and the remix was produced by Robin Wesley, a producer from England, who I met on YouTube. The future. The future is so unpredictable. We don't know what is going to happen from day to day, especially in these crazy times of coronavirus and civil unrest. This was the inspiration for this song. The uncertainty of the future is crazy. Like the saying says, the past is history, the future is a mystery, so just live for the present. When I got this beat from Robin Wesley, I immediately pictured Beyonce singing and dancing to this song for some reason. Maybe I was supposed to send it to her, I guess, but I wrote the words and sang it like I think she would have sang it. Carl once again handled the production of this song. The remix was done by DJ Rocka and is on the deluxe edition of this album. This song was released as the 5th single on Black Friday 2020. 9. Celebrate 40. I am very happy that I made it to be 40 years old. There were times I felt like I would not make it to this far. I made it through a lot of crazy things, and I came out as pure gold. I have so many wonderful things to be thankful for. So I just wanted to celebrate this song. I told DJ Rocka that I wanted a good beat for this song, and he provided it. Zach supplied the production. Even though this song was not released as a single, it remains one of the most popular songs from this album. 10. Accelerate. I was in a dancing mood, and I expressed this to Fa Soul, and he provided the beat to help me get my groove on. Carl produced the track. This will be released as a 9th and final single on my birthday in 2021. 11. Brighter Days. Rocka sent me this track because he said that it would fit my style perfectly. I wrote the lyrics to a friend of mine who had moved from California to Atlanta, and this song, I was just wishing them good things and success as they moved on to a better life. This song is one of my personal favorites from this album. 12. Delivered, featuring Christian Velour. This song was produced by a friend of mine named Lance, a.k.a. Christian Velour. We met at an event called the Hollywood Open Mic. He saw me perform and said that he was impressed with my stage presence. Later on that night, I saw him perform, and I knew that I wanted to work with him. He told me that he was a producer. I said, cool. Originally, I wanted him to work with him on a song called I Want You, and also My Sun Shines. But after I got the beat from Fa Soul and I wrote the lyrics, I decided that this would be a better song for him to produce. I have never worked so hard to record a song in my life. He pushed me to sing out and to project my words more and make the lyrics understandable. We spent 3 hours in the studio recording this one song because he kept stopping and making me do the track over and over again. But I thank him for his attention to detail. He can be heard on the track saying, "Go, go, go." He did a remix of this song on the deluxe edition, which is produced by myself and Jazzman. This song was released as a fourth single from this album and peaked at number 1 on the independent singles chart for 4 weeks and it was another 100+ thousand viewed video on YouTube. 13, You. For the deluxe edition, I originally recorded a song called 3. The song was about a threesome and it was very explicit. I was going to release it as the third single from the album and the first single from the deluxe edition. At the last minute, I decided not to release that song. Instead, I recorded this song on the same beat and decided to never release the 3 song ever. The beat was made by another new beat maker that I met through Farillo named T-Rex. We talked over Zoom and he sent me a link to his website. As I browsed for beats, I found this one. I immediately began to write for this song after I heard the beat. This song is about loving someone special. This song came out better than I expected. Carl produced this song. 14, Power to the Peeps.
It's time for a revolution.
I got a call from at 12:30 a.m. from my play father, aka manager Moses Millions, telling me that he wanted me to write a song about giving power back to the people and taking away from the corrupt government officials. He called it Power to the People. I said, okay. Immediately, I began to write the lyrics for the song. I immediately went on YouTube after I wrote the lyrics and found and bought a beat from Kaz. As I got the beat, I knew it was perfect. I knew it was a perfect song, and I recorded the demo at my house. And that night, I went to Carl's studio and recorded the final version. I sent it to Moses, and he loved it, and made it the first single from his Revolution compilation album. I liked it so much that I put it on the deluxe edition of this album. The song did very well. It sold 200,000 copies, and it made 187,000 views on YouTube and more than 6,000 streams on Spotify. This single was number 1 on the independent single charts for 5 weeks. 15, Back It Up. This is another original song that I recorded just for the deluxe edition. I knew when I heard the beat that Jazzman gave me, this was going to be big. I began to think about the backyard barbecues that my family used to have back in the day. There was dancing and prancing and having a good time. I wanted to make a song about the good old days. We don't have that family love anymore. We need to get it back. Carl produced this song. The song was released as the third single from the album and the first single from the deluxe edition. This song made it to the top 10 independent singles chart. 16, Everything Will Be Alright, Don't Panic. I wrote this song at the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic because I saw a lot of despair, sadness, and panic that was going on. I wanted to make a song that would ease people's hearts and make them groove as well. My friend Jazzman gave me the beat for free. When I told him the concept of the song, I played the song for various friends before I released it, including my friend Devious Doc. He loved the song and asked me if he could be on the remix. I said okay. He did his verse and he did a superior job. This song was originally released on my The Encouragement mixtape, but I liked it so much that I also included it on the deluxe edition of this album. The song was another number 1 independent singles chart single, as well as another 100,000 plus viewed video on YouTube as well. 4020 Remix. Fasol gave me this beat and Zach provided the production. This song is a celebration of life and my career thus far. I originally had a great video shoot planned to this remix, but unfortunately, coronavirus messed that up. And it still became a top 10 hit on the dance charts. 18, Proud to Be Me Remix. This song was produced by M. Fa Soul, and he said he loved it so much that he really seriously wanted to produce the remix. 18, Ain't Nothing Like Me. Once again, Fa Soul provided the beat, and Carl recorded and produced the song. 20, Typical Electronic Remix. Giacomo handled the remix, and I handled the production of this remix, which can also be found on this deluxe edition. 20, Delivered Remix. I remixed this song myself for this album. The beat was done by Jazzman. This song was released as a fourth single and became another #1 hit. Carl handled the original production of this song, but a new beat maker that I met named Robin Wesley, a producer from England, produced the remix, and he did a great job. 23, The Future Remix. This remix was done by DJ Rocka and is on the deluxe edition of this album. 24, World Party Remix. A new beat maker named B.A. Remixer from Holland, who I met on SoundCloud, produced this remix. 25, Everything Will Be Alright, Don't Panic, the remix featuring the DLC. I played this song for various friends before I released it, including my friend Devious Doc. He loved the song so much, he asked me if he could be on the remix. I said okay, and it did really, really well. 26, Jesus Crazy 2020 Solo Remix. The original version of this song came out 21 years ago when I was part of a duo called Crazy for Jesus. The original version was our first ever single. I decided to remix this as an ode to where I came from musically. My friend Jazzman provided the beat, and I produced it myself for the deluxe edition for this album. 25, Alive and Satisfied EP. 1, Alive and Satisfied. 2, OnlyFans. 3, Can We Fall in Love. 4, I Love You. 5, Goodness Gracious. 6, In My Crowd. 7, He Got You Remix. 8, Power to the Peeps featuring Progress. Progress Remix. Album information. I was originally going to release these songs along with some explicit songs under my cousin Limo's name and call it Pleasure and make it an album. But when the streaming service would not let me do that, I decided to repackage the album, minus the explicit songs, and make it an EP. This is my first all-new music EP ever in my 21-year career. This EP is about love and life and being satisfied with what you have. I decided to release this EP on the 14th anniversary of my debut solo album, Look What God Has Done. I produced every song on this EP except for one. 1, Alive and Satisfied. This song is about being happy with what you have and being satisfied with it. DJ Rocka sent me a couple of beats, and this was one of them. This song was produced by me and was the third single from this EP. 2, OnlyFans. This song was actually inspired by several conversations that I had with various people. 1, my former assistant pastor at the church I used to attend, and he said that there was a female in the congregation that had an OnlyFans page. 2, my friend of 27 years told me that another friend of ours had an OnlyFans page where he was having sex with females. 3, I found out my friend Marius, who is getting an OnlyFans page, and that he wanted me to be a consultant on it. And 4, one of my friends has an OnlyFans page where he has sex with men and is making so much money that he's able to take vacations to everywhere that he wants to go. Rocka provided the beat, and Carl produced this track. My friend Deshaun appeared on the remix. The video was directed by my friend Callie Rasco, who I met on Facebook when we joined the same music group on Facebook. This video also features my neighbor Riri Woods as my love interest. This single went to #1 on the independent singles chart and was another 100+ viewed smash on YouTube. 3, Can We Fall in Love. This was another song where the beat drove the lyrics. I got the beat from Fa Soul, and I just wrote these lyrics for my heart. There was this man named Jay that I really liked, and I wanted to get with. As I wrote this song to him, but I never played it for him because he told me that he had a girlfriend. This song was released as the second single from the EP. 4. I Love You. I wrote this song for my cousin Limo to give to his husband Alex. He told me how much they were in love. I decided to write this song about them. My friend Jasmine provided the beat for this song, and I produced it. 5. Goodness Gracious. This song is another song for Limo and Alex. This beat was given to me by Rocka, and once again the beat guided the lyrics. I produced this song as well. 6. In My Crowd. There have been a lot of married men coming after me since I came out. One married man that I used to work with tried to have sex with me, but I had to tell him no. I do not do married men or attached men. This song was originally titled No Married Men Allowed, but I changed the title so that it wouldn't cause any controversy. This song was released as the 4th single from the album. 7. He Got You Remix. This was a solo remix for my second duo single with Crazy for Jesus. We released it as the original song in 2000, and I decided to celebrate its 20th anniversary by releasing it. A video remix was produced by Miss Lips. 8. Power to the Peeps featuring Progress Remix. This single was a number 1 on independent single charts for 5 weeks. My friend Progress, who is fine, asked me to appear on this remix, and I granted him the privilege. Chapter 26. Welcome to the Love Room. 1. Welcome to the Love Room. 2. All About the Love. 3. Spread Love. 4. My Heart Loves Only You. 5. I See Me in You. 6. Real Love Part 2. 7. Love. 8. In Love. 9. Got Me Singing Love Songs. 10. Love Dance. 11. Only Love. 12. When Will We Let Love Rule? 13. Welcome to the Love Room Remix. 14. Lovely. 15. Be Mine. 16. Kiss Me. 17. Everyday Valentine. 18. Triumph, God Loves Me. 19. Spread Love Remix featuring Drew Gaddafi, Nephew Michael, and King Copa. 20. My Heart Loves Only You Dance Remix. 21. I See Me in You G-Funk Remix. And the extra song, We Ended Up Together. The concept for this album came to me because I saw all the hate and the tension that is going around now. I just wanted to create an album that would bring love in this world. Everyone knows that love is the greatest power in the world. It is more powerful than hate and greed. I titled the album Welcome to the Love Room because I wanted love to fill every room that listens to this album. 1. Welcome to the Love Room. This song came about because I saw a sign that said, Welcome to the Boom Boom Room. I said, wow, why don't I make a song that says, Welcome to the Love Room? I thought about it over and over again. Then in the middle of the night, the chorus came to me in my sleep. I woke up and started singing the chorus in my recorder. When I was fully awake, I listened to it again, and I said, wow, I might have something. I was looking for beats on YouTube when I came across this beat by Dizzy. I bought the beat, and I listened to the beat for a little while. Then the verses came to me. I then recorded the demo, and I loved it. I took the track to Carl's studio, and the rest is history. I decided to speak to my audience instead of singing because I felt like it would reach the listener more and then me just singing. The song was released as the first single from the album. It became number 1 on the independent singles chart for 14 weeks and has sold more than 400,000 copies and has made YouTube history with more than 500,000 views on YouTube. 2. All About the Love. This was the second song that we recorded for this album. I got this idea from a celebrity who said, it's not about politics or religion, It's all about love. I said, wow, I should make a song about that. I decided to use a Timberland kind of beat that Dizzy made. Also decided to try my hand at rapping on the song because that's what the beat was for. To me, it wouldn't sound right if I sang on it. I took it over to Carl's house and freestyled the whole song in 20 minutes. He liked it so much that we decided to keep the freestyle version for the album. 3. Spread Love. I got the inspiration for this song from an argument that I got into with my friend Robert Foreman, who always talks about politics, even though I tell him I don't want to talk about it. And he goes on and on and on and on about separatism issues. This particular night, he started talking about Black Lives Matter movement in a bad way and calling them a terrorist organization. I disagreed with him, and he started talking bad about what he believed and talking about what I believed. I told him, "You are a Christian too, so shut the hell up." This made him more angry, and he said people like me and are what's wrong with the world. I told him that isn't true. We as humans need to stop spreading the lies and start trying to spread love. That's the only way that the human race will survive. He got angry and hung up on me. I was angry, so I decided to write these lyrics to this beat that I got from Info Soul. Next thing I knew, I had a demo done. I took this to the studio and recorded the final songs 2 weeks later at Carl's studio. Robert and I ended up patching things up, and I agreed to never talk politics with me, and he agreed to never talk politics with me ever again. This was released as the third single from this album. The remix, which was produced by Choco, features Nephew Michael, Drew Gaddafi, and King Koba. 4. My Heart Loves Only You. During the making of this album, I began going to a church called LA First United Methodist Church, which is the only church that accepted my sexuality. They love me for who I am, not for who I have sex with. I was cool with everyone, but one Sunday, as everyone's giving each other hugs, I got a hug from a drummer of the church named Diego. Diego was a light-skinned Mexican male who was about 30 years old and semi-muscular type of build. When he came and hugged me, I kind of felt something. Since that day, I was trying to get him alone and talk to him. Plus, I was making suggestions to him about hanging out outside of the church. I even wrote a song to the beat. I wrote a song to the beat I got from Info Soul to him. I was smitten big time. This is Carl's favorite song on the album. This was released as a second single from this album and has sold really well so far. 5. I See Me in You. On this album, I worked with another new beat maker named Cass, whom I met while browsing beats on YouTube. I fell in love with this beat, and I had to buy it. It was funky and as 90s style beat, mixed all into one beat. I listened to it a number of times, and then I thought about the concept for it. The concept for this song is about falling in love with everything about yourself. I wrote this song because I just wanted to promote self-love. We are lacking that in music right now. The beat for this song was short, so I had to get right to the point quickly. I recorded it in Carl's studio in one take. This song was released as a fourth single from this album. 6. Real Love Part 2. For this album, I decided that I wanted to record a solo Real Love version without Devontae. I wanted to expand the meaning and the lyrics of this song on my own. This song is about unconditional love for our brothers and sisters. We need this real love in this world today. I got this beat from Fasol, who loved the concept when I told him about it. Carl loved the concept as well and produced the song as well. 7. LOVE. Reggae is my music. I love it. When DK Audio, a beat maker who I had not worked with for over 6 years, got in touch with me and told me that he had a reggae beat that he thought that I would be perfect like, I jumped at the chance to work with him again. He sent me the beat, and it was everything that I wanted. The song once again practically wrote itself. The song is about love for everybody, not just for people that you know. Carl once again produced the beat, and it was released as the album's 6th single. 8. In Love. This is another song about my crush Diego. I wanted to make a song to express my feelings about him. Fasol supplied the beat, and Carl did the production. The song was released as the album's 5th single. Got Me Singing Love Songs. This song is one of my favorites from this album because I love the melody and I love the lyrics. I swear, if I did not write this song myself, I would go out and buy 20 copies of it. Every lyric to me is just on point of how I felt about Diego. Jazzman's beats just enhanced the message of the song. Carl's production just brings it home. This song was released as a 8th and final single from this album. 10. Love Dance. I love to dance and I love to love. This is a mixture of the two. I'm inviting everyone to find someone and dance together instead of killing each other and hating each other. Dizzy produced the beat and Carl produced the vocals for this song. 11. I used to love that song by an artist named Hathaway titled What Is Love? And I promised that if I ever made a dance album, that I would do a similar song to Hathaway's. Jazzman helped me accomplish this goal with his awesome beat, and Carl helped me with his awesome production. I love this song so much, I also wanted to put it on Welcome to the Love Room album. 12. When We Let Love Rule. This song was made after I saw violence and the looting in Minnesota and also in Los Angeles. I asked, when will the prejudice cease? When will love begin? This is my musical question and answer. I produced this song, and Jazzman came up with the beat. 13. Welcome to the Love Room remix. My friend Jazzman decided to remix this song for me. He said he had to be a part of this song some kind of way, and I let him. And so he remixed this. 14. Lovely. I got this beat from a new producer friend of mine named AG that I met off of YouTube. He commented on Welcome to the Love Room video and told me that he was a producer. I said, oh, okay, cool. I have always wanted to do a trap song, and he must have knew that, so he gave me this beat. I began to think of all the lovely people that I knew, and I decided to write a song about it. My friend Freyjane asked if she could do a remix to this, and I agreed. The song was a 3rd single off of the album and the first from the Love Deluxe Edition album. It was number 1 on the independent charts for 3 weeks, and it is my 13th video to do over 100,000 plays on YouTube. And everyone loves this song. Number 15, Be Mine. The song was written well after the original studio sessions to the Welcome to the Love Room album had concluded. I had come back from a Valentine's Day trip to Atlanta, and I saw the Valentine's Day decorations in my building, and one of them said, Be Mine. I love that title so much that I decided to write a song to it. After I got another beat from AG, I decided to release it on the deluxe edition of this album. 16, Kiss Me. This song was also written well after the original studio sessions of Welcome to the Love Room had concluded. I had come back from my Valentine's Day trip to Atlanta, and I also saw this particular sign, Kiss Me. I love that title so much, I decided to write a song to it, and it became an instant classic. Number 17, Everyday Valentine. I know we celebrate Valentine's Day once a year, but I wanted to make a song about celebrating your love every day of the year. I also got this beat from HG, and I recorded it on the same day I recorded Lovely, Be Mine, and even Kiss Me. I decided to include it on the Love Deluxe edition of this album because I felt that it would fit greatly with this collection. 18, Triumph, God Loves Me. I felt that the deluxe edition needed a spiritual song on it, so I dug through my collection of yet-to-be-released songs and pulled this one out. This song was originally recorded from my future album, Good Music Mixtape, that is coming soon, but I decided that this song needed to be heard now. My friend Infaso produced a song, and I also produced it. This song was about celebrating God, that God loves us no matter what we do. So we must feel triumphant because of that. Number 19, Spread Love, the remix. This was the second beat that HG sent me, and I loved it. Automatically started singing Spread Love to it. I didn't just wanted to record the remix by myself. I wanted to include my rapper and singing friends on it. I reached out to various friends, and 3 of the best rappers responded. I met Drew at the Hollywood Open Mic 3 years ago. I admired his talent, and I recruited him to be on my podcast. We stayed in touch and supported each other. I met Nephew Michael 2 years ago at a show that I did for a mutual friend, Bobby Buck. He was a part of a group called The Fathers in Hip Hop. We exchanged numbers because he wanted me to sing on his gospel album that he was working on, and I agreed. Unfortunately, that never panned out, but we stayed in touch. I met King Copa when we were filming the mural scene of my OnlyFans video. He had dropped by just to see who was filming what. We got into a conversation, and we agreed to keep in touch. I appeared on this song titled, Will the Real Men Stand Up? He also appeared on my podcast, and the rest is history. The song was released as the 5th single from the album and became a huge hit. 20. My Heart Loves Only You Dance Remix. This remix was done by my friend Jazzman. He also loved the original version and almost begged me to do this remix. I agreed, and I produced the remix myself at my home studio. 21. I See Me and You G-Funk Remix. Once again, Classic produced this remix. I originally wanted my coworker Snowman to be on the song, but I decided to just do it on my own after he kept procrastinating. I once again produced the remix at my house. Extra, we ended up together. This is a hidden track on the Love Deluxe edition. I wrote these lyrics 8 years ago. I originally wanted to make this song a duet, but when I could not find a female singer to sing it with me, I put it on the shelf and forgot about the song until it was time to make the Love Deluxe edition. I thought about the song, and when I couldn't get a female once again, I decided to record the song by myself. The beat was made by my friend Jazzman, and I produced it at my home studio. Chapter 27. Look What God Has Done, Volume 2. 1. Look What God Has Done 2021 Remix. 2. Never Turn Away featuring Disciple of Soleil. 3. Unfailing Love. 4. Ministry. 5. Praise On. 6. Seasons of Life. 7. The World Needs Jesus. 8. Excellent, Holy. 9. Devil, You Can't Park Here. 10. Hallelujah. 11. I Can Do All Things. 12. Power of Prayer. 13. God is in Control. 14. Commune with You. 15. God is Love. 16. Praise Party. 17. For All My Life, the musical prayer. 18. Just So Blessed, freestyle. 19. Never Turn Away remix. 20. Ministry, West Up remix. Album information. This is my 15th anniversary of my debut album. I decided to make a volume 2 just to give an updated version of my debut album. This is my 4th album as Pastor O. This album is all about my current spiritual journey and where I am in my world. This is also my first album for Bentley Records, who I've been wanting to sign with for ages. 1. Look What God Has Done 2021 Remix. I made an updated version of the title track for 2021. This was the last song that we recorded for the project. My name means God has done this in the Yoruba language of Nigeria. So I wanted to say, hey, look what God has done. At first, I did not want to record the title track for the album, but Kaz came to me with this beat, and I said this would be an awesome thing for me to audition for this album. 2. Never Turn Away featuring Disciple Soleil. These days, so many people turn their backs on God for one reason or the other. They change their religion based on what other people think or the way they feel at the time. This song is about love. This song is my love song to God. In this song, I tell God that I won't leave him no matter what happens, kind of like Job did in the Bible. I asked a number of rappers to be on it with me, but they all refused. I then asked Disciple Soleil, a rapper who I met through an Anthony Desire at a show in 2015. We instantly became spiritual brothers. I later found out that his birthday was the day before mine. We lost touch for 3 years until we both got nominated for a Southern California Gospel Music Award in 2018. I saw him again at the pre-awards concert, and we reconnected and agreed to keep in touch. I called him and I told him that I want him to be on the song, and he agreed to be on it. 2 weeks later, he sent me his verse, and I loved it. Based on that alone, I decided to make this the second single from this album. 3. Unfailing Love. God has been really awesome to me. Throughout my life, he has shown me unfailing love and compassion. Even when I fall, he's still there to pick me up and dust me off. I want to just thank him and worship him in this song. Once again, Fasol gave me the beat for the song, and Carl produced this song. 4. Ministry. I used to go to this church named Mount Sinai Missionary Baptist Church, and the pastor's name was George Hurt. I was there for a year and a half. While I was there, I begged the pastor to put me on the ministry staff because I had a background in the ministry. He refused to put me on any ministry boards, and that hurt me bad. He would always greet me like, "Hey, minister," but he would never put me on it. Some folks said that he was kind of a jealous minister and kind of jealous of my ministry skills. The thing that made me leave the church was when I asked him to sign my pastor's recommendation for me to get into a university. He said no. I was kind of mad, but I kind of understood. Fasol sent me this beat, and I decided to make a song about what real ministry is. Carl once again produced this song. The song was released as the third single from this album. 5. Praise On. This is a gospel funk song. It's kind of like a James Brown kind of funk song for the 21st century. I wanted to make a praise song that I thought that the young people could relate to. That's why I rapped on it instead of singing. I recorded this version in a James Brown mindset. I was thinking I wanted to make like a Sex Machine kind of vibe to this song. Kaz did a masterful job of making this beat. Carl produced this song. This is my absolute favorite song from this album. This song will be released as the first single from this album. 6. Seasons of Life. We all go through challenges and triumphs in life. We all go through seasons of doubt, frustration, and also of depression. But it is so excellent to know that we have a God who is with us to help us in whatever we are going through. That is what this song is about, giving praise to God for seeing us through any questionable seasons in our life. Fasol made the beat, and Carl produced the song. 7. The World Needs Jesus. With everything that is going on in this world, we need a Savior to help us. With the coronavirus and massive deaths, we need a refuge. This song is about how much this wicked world needs the Lord. Fasol made this beat, and Carl produced this song. 8. Excellent Holy. This is a worship song to God for all the good things that he has done. I wanted to give him musical props and give him the true worship from my heart and soul. Fasol made the beat, and Carl produced the song. 9. Devil, You Can't Park Here. I used to work at Pep Boys on Washington Boulevard and Alvarado. I used to work in the parking area. I used to tell people, "I'm sorry, you can't park here unless you're going to Pep Boys." And out of that, I got the title for this song. I got a rock beat from DJ Jazzman, and I recorded the hook first. Then the 2 verses came to me. I went to Carl Studios, and we recorded it in 15 minutes. This will be the 5th single from this album. 10. Hallelujah. I received this beat for this song 3 years ago from Jazzman. I originally recorded the demo version for my spiritual album, but at the last minute I decided to put another song on the album instead. I was going through demos that I recorded in the past 2 or 3 years, and I ran across this demo, and I decided to rework the song and use it for this album. This song is a heavily jazz-influenced song, and it is giving praise to God. This is the final studio version was produced by Carl at his studio. 11. I Can Do All Things. I had been wanting to record this song for years. I originally wrote these lyrics in 2001, and I had a choir in mind to sing it with, but that never happened. I wanted another friend of mine to sing it with his background singers in 2004, but that it has never happened. I was planning to a live recording in 2015, but plans for that fell through. So I forgot about the song until one day I got a beat from Dizzy, and I automatically began singing this hook to the beat. I looked in my email to see if I still had the lyrics, and sure enough, there it was. I copied the lyrics, made a demo of it, and did the final recording in Carl's studio, and the rest is history. This song will be released as the 4th single from this album. Everyone needs to seek the Master's face. Prayer is very powerful. Through prayer, you can break through anything that you're going through, and that is what this song is about. Breakthrough through prayer. Fasol made the beat, and Carl produced the song. 13. God is in control. No matter what we are going through, we got to remember that God is in control of it all. Even in these COVID-19 situations and various natural and man-made disasters, God is still on the throne. That is what this song is about. Letting God have his way. Get out of God's way. Stop thinking you know it all. God is the one who knows it all and will work it all out for his good. Jazzman provided the beat, and Carl and I provided the production of this song. 14. Commune with you. This is another worship song to God. This is about connecting your spirit to God and having him connect his spirit to you. Fasol made the beat, and Carl produced the song. 15. God is love. I am personally tired of some Christians saying that God hates this and God hates that, or God only loves these kind of people or people in this religion. God to me is a God of love. He created everyone, so that why do we hate them? This is a song telling everyone about how loving God is. God is not a vengeful or mean God, the way that some people make him out to be. He is wonderful. I wanted to convey that on this song that Carl produced. Once again, M. Fasol provided the beat. This song will be released as the 7th and final single from this album. 16. Praise Party. I received yet another beat from HG, and I decided not to waste it. I began to think about all the goodness of God, and I wanted to celebrate. I spoke on this song to give it a preacher's vibe. I also produced the song myself at my home studio. This is the first new song on the deluxe edition of Look What God Has Done Volume 2. 17. For all my life, the musical prayer. Ever since I can remember, God has been with me to guide and comfort me. HG gave me the beat, and it made me think of all the times that God has guided me. So I decided to write a musical prayer to this song and produce it myself. This was the second new song on the deluxe edition of Look What God Has Done, Volume 2. 18. Just So Blessed Freestyle. HG suggested that I freestyle on one of his beats, and I gladly obliged. I felt so blessed in my life. I got a good job, a wonderful family, and an awesome church family, and I wanted to tell the world about it in a song that I produced myself. This is the final new song on the Look What God Has Done Volume 2 Deluxe Edition of this album. 19. Never Turn Away Remix. I decided to do a solo remix to this song to the beat that was given to me by HG because once again, the beat spoke to me. This is on the deluxe edition of Look What God Has Done Volume 2. Number 20, Ministry West Up remix. I decided to do another solo remix to this song, to this beat that was also given to me by HG. And I tell you, this beat just wrote itself. Wow. This is the final song on the Look What God Has Done Volume 2 Deluxe Edition. And also, this is the first single from the album. Ministry is actually the first single, but this is a remix of the first single. The end. I hope you guys enjoyed my storytelling. That was both the first and the second parts of my autobiography. This actually was supposed to come out 2021, but I delayed it for some reason. But now here it is, both the part 1 and part 2 from my 26 albums so far. May God bless you. May God keep you. And you guys stay tuned because we got another new episodes coming. A big old top 20 countdown, you guys. But this is it. God bless. Peace.